Hey guys, it is the 8th of February 2020. Kind of in the middle of winter, but no snow for me so far. Everybody's getting hit by the coronavirus and nobody's happy right now. But as we are in the middle of our winter 2020 anime season. And welcome to episode 137 of 4PlayerAnimecast. I am, as usual, your host Spire, and here with me are my usual co-hosts. Toast, how are you doing?
Did you listen to that link I sent you guys?
Uh,
Not yet.
You
not
should. You
yet.
should. Don't talk to
Okay.
me
Wait, where
unless
did
you
you
heard
post?
what in the only one right there. And there it again.
Oh,
Oh, this one. Fuck. Okay.
Did you did you
Anyways,
did you guys see the specs for the PCs at Niji Sanji? They're pretty good.
I mean, they have to be.
anyways, Dark. How are you doing?
I'm all right.
Hmm.
Drank a 300 milliliter bottle of sake.
Drink more.
Before starting this, so yeah.
Anyways, Near. What about you?
I'm alright. You know, play mobile games. The usual.
The
Oh
use.
yeah. These sick people got me into fucking Arknights. So
I didn't do anything, bro.
you encouraged it after. You didn't tell me to stop when you got there.
Yeah, well,
You were part of the problem.
pretty sure literally every time I've told you to stop playing a mobile game, you just like play it more. So it's kind of pointless.
Just like can't stop, won't stop kind of thing at this point.
Yeah.
Anyways, um, so I guess for me, I haven't been too much. I've been playing a little bit more on the visual novel front. I caught up on a lot of stuff on. Okay, so recently when I've been trying to check out web novel stuff, right? Um, Obviously sometimes I read, just the raw like Japanese stuff because whatever, right? They haven't been translated, so I might as well. And then sometimes when I'm lazy, I just read the English translation of stuff, especially if the light novels aren't available online. But recently when I've gone on to like, aggregation sites, right? Everything is just like not even just light novels and web novels, but even like manga aggregation sites. It's just like all of the updated chapters and stuff like that. It's like recently updated, whatever, and you usually just scroll down to like see what's been recently updated and catch up on it, right? Everything's Chinese these days. What's happening?
It's called the coronavirus spire.
It's called
The Chinese are moving all their data onto the internet, so just in case they die, it will be preserved for all eternity.
You're right, Toast. Sorry, I couldn't have thought of that. But yeah, just literally everything. Like I can't even find. It'll literally be like 30 different Chinese series and then like one Japanese series. I'm like, no, I don't like that series. And then I literally have to go down. It's
Wait,
so
what
fucking.
Chinese series? Hit me up with them. I might have read some of them.
I
You
don't
probably read
memorize these
most of them,
You
titles.
honestly.
you
I
got
don't memorize these titles.
you
You
got
act like I
you,
memorize Chinese web novel titles. I do
you
not.
got Marshall Peak. I'm waiting for the next chapter. I'm on
Oh, it's
five
I know. I recognize Marshall P, but
five
I don't
forty
obviously.
seven. I think. Let me check.
But I don't memorize
Five
titles of
sixty seven.
Chinese web novel stuff. But anyways, that's pretty much been.
Is it because you can't read it?
Yes, it's also because I can't read it.
Okay.
I know what the one that Sessian is talking about. I'm an invisible genius. But anyways,
What about
other than,
I was trash? I like that one too.
I think I've seen that title once, but I've never even clicked on like
What
any of
about
these pages.
Apotheosis? That's one I'm into as well.
I've seen like the titles of these, but I have like not
You know
like
how
actually
long
read
Marshall Peak is? They're on like chapter 5,000 plus.
every Chinese web novel has like 364 million chapters.
Not
That's just
not not Battle Through the Heavens. I think that concluded around 3K.
3K.
Well, listen, that's how you know it's a successful series.
Yeah.
Bad.
Anyways, I haven't been through like a lot of other stuff, but beyond that, I watched a couple of series, and obviously I'm going to be talking about some of them here. A couple of interesting news, obviously, these past 2 weeks, and we're gonna go through that in the middle of stuff. So we're
Oh
not.
yeah,
gonna be-
I forgot to mention.
Yeah.
PSO2 in English, baby. Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, there's not too much going on right now. Obviously, again, in the next couple of episodes before we do the spring reviews, we're going to be covering
What?
some of the series that everybody might be talking about this season. One or two is that we especially haven't named that we're probably going to cover. So probably just wait up for that. But today we're just gonna probably round up some series before we head into the real sort of meat on this season. But anyways, start us off. Toast. What do you have for us today?
First off, who's Lisa Helesta? Is that the one that speaks English?
No, it's the. Can we not talk about this right now? Toast. What did you cover?
Oh, it's the other person. Okay. So you guys read Masochistic Admiral?
What?
Not.
No.
I haven't even heard of this.
By Yamamoto Airfried? No.
Nope.
Oh yeah, you guys don't read Kantai Collection Dojins, right?
No,
Why not?
we usually do not.
So let me tell you, it's about this masochistic admiral guy who gets stepped on by a ship girl. It's pretty good. The end. Here, I'll link it for people. There you go. But yeah, I watched that, or I read that. It's pretty cool. But the reason I'm talking about that is he got an official manga anime. I read that a long time ago. Then I was like, wait a minute, I recognize this art. And lo and behold,
Oh, okay.
where was it? There we go. This popped up. I watched.
Yeah?
I watched Rikei Gakoi no Ochita no de Shoumei shitemita. Yeah, that's how it is. Or in English, science fell in love, so they had to prove it.
Yeah. I think Rikei が恋に落ちたので証明してみた.
Yeah, I just said that.
Yeah, I think you can just do RikeKoi, right?
Oh, yeah, really? Yeah, that.
Yeah, RikeKoi.
They're very
yeah.
cool. Oops, wrong picture. It's not showing up. Why aren't you showing up? There you go. Thank you. So let me tell you about these RikeKois.
Okay. Yes. Didn't we have something similar to this like a couple of series ago?
Oh yeah. You know what people are calling this fire? They're
What?
calling this Kaguya-sama 2.0 mixed in
What
with
the fuck does that mean?
what's the what's the
I know.
one?
I mean, I know where people would be coming from
What's the
for
one?
Kaguya-sama.
It's not Steins Gate. It's not Chaos Head. It's not Robotics Notes. What's the other one? Why can't I think of it? Is it Steins Gate? I think it's Steins Gate. Yeah, there you go.
What?
Yeah, people are calling
Steins Gate meets Kaguya-sama.
Yeah.
Okay.
all probably because he wears a lab coat. Like that's it.
That's all it takes.
See, this is how you know the anime community, the Western anime community, is very smart.
It's Kaguya-sama for smart people because it has a lot of science equations and whatnot. And I'm like, that's cool, I guess.
What the fuck? Okay.
You've never heard of this?
What do you mean? I've never heard of what?
You've never heard people say this is Kaguya-sama mixed with Steins Gate?
I mean, I guess
I
I
don't
can
chat too
understand
much
wwhy
with
people would say
retards.
Kaguya-sama, but fucking Steins Gate is literally like what you just said. Like he wears a lab coat.
That's what I thought too. I'm like,
Solid.
I guess it has to do with science, whatever. So let me tell you about this.
Okay.
So you got the chick Himuro. She's all like, "Hey, what's the Yukimura? Yeah, Yukimura. She's all like, "Hey, Yukimura, I think I love you. And he's all like, prove it. And she's all like, okay. And then they do fancy science experiments and stuff and collect empirical data. And I'm like, that's cool. So they're all like, she's all like, how do you prove that you love me? And she's all like, I can prove this through empirical data. And then they do some fancy experiments like, let's prove this through a wall slam. You guys know what a wall slam is, right?
Kabedon.
Yeah.
It's the thing where
Yeah.
it's like the dude like approaches the girl and then kind of like pins her to the wall kind of, but it's like with one hand like on the wall like next to her or something like that. Yeah.
And she's all like, they do it, and he's all like, well, did that work? And then they're all like, huh, this is the amount of times my heart was racing, and this is my BPM. And they're all like, that's really cool. Let's write this down and add this to our proposal or whatever. And then they do more fancy experiments. Like, let's what is it? Let's hold hands. And then the dude's like, wait a minute. I haven't touched women before, so any increase in my heart rate will throw off the experiment. And they're all like, darn, I guess we can't use this, but let's hold hands anyway. The dude's like, all right.
What the fuck? So this is, I'm guessing this is episodic and with like almost no actual like character advancement,
I don't know.
right?
Well,
Like
let's
there's no
let's
character
just say from the start, it's obvious that these two like each other. So everyone's all like, just
well,
let's hurry up
yeah,
and get
again.
married already, I guess.
that's pretty obvious here. But
the dude, I know, the dude's all like, I want to prove that I like you too, but we have to do it through science, otherwise this will have no meaning. And I'm like, okay. I don't know. I mean, this is exactly why people are saying it's Kaguya-sama 2.0. They obviously like each other, but they can't say it. They have to prove it through science, so they do all these fancy sex experiments to prove it. You guys like science, right? Yeah, what's RikeKoi again? Says he'll bring up
Ochita
RikeKoi.
was the
the
was that?
otaku thing,
right?
yeah, the fudanshi like otaku kind of
Oh, I
thing,
didn't
right?
read
not, we're starting to get into territory where you're just saying like, oh yeah, it's kind of like a rom-com.
It's like it's
It's
like Infinite
definitely
Stratos, but like
rom-com.
not really. It's like Infinite Stratos, but with science. I think.
It's kind of like Neteju, but like if you thought like instead of playing an MMO, they were like trying to prove that they loved each other through science, like that would be what it is.
It's like to love room, but they don't have bra slips all the time.
It's like Watamote, except it's not a smelly girl.
it's like Yuta Yuri, except like half of them are boys. I mean, again, like kind of like again, this is why I hate people who like.
I think
Like-
maybe it's because of the more like I guess like serious looking characters or something, but I don't know. I understand why people would like initially say that, but
It's still not a good instinct. It's still
Nah,
not.
yeah,
it's,
it's not great because
it's like you have to suppress it. It's like racist instinct. You have to suppress it. You're like, no, bad. That was a bad thought.
Like,
You just
oh,
If you
wait a
have
minute, hold on.
Spire, hold on a second. If you have to suppress racist instincts, then you are a racist.
Yeah, wait a
you
minute.
can't- you
So
can't
if we
be
have to
racist.
suppress this,
yeah, you
then
can't.
that
You
means
can't,
it
yeah,
really is like.
Yeah, if you're everybody knows that if you have racist thoughts, the only thing to do is just let them all out, right? That's you just have to let it free. But
Yeah, so what
anyways,
you're saying is this is exactly like.
yes. Anyways,
So what am I going to say about the series? Pretty good. It's pretty good. I like it. I mean, I read Masochistic Admiral and I was like, that guy's cool. This one,
so again, what I'm curious about is there's no character development across the episodes, right? It's just the same sort of like, oh, like we're gonna try this plan to get closer to each other, and then at the end, of the day,
not yet. Probably not. This is I believe this is ongoing.
yeah. But I mean, yeah. But for the most part, it's not gonna be the actual.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I mean,
Because they're going to be focusing on like the whole like shtick, right?
Probably. Well, it's obvious that they like each other, so they can't really go past that unless one of them confesses. But what? Wait, but they already did. So they're stuck. They're stuck in a loop. Fascinating.
Oh my god.
I mean, I wouldn't
Anyways.
say there's no character development because they're all like, let's go on dates and stuff when they do their fancy experiments, and they both obviously like it. So does that mean all rom-com has no character development at all?
Well, it kind of depends on where it ends up, right?
Well, you need to actually change.
You mean like Quince, where it's ending in one chapter?
If by the end of the end of this show they're not like
Probably not. It's only 12
coming
episodes.
together, then
It's only,
yeah, well then that means there's really not much character development there. Then
Yeah.
I don't know. Did they get together in Kaguya-sama? I think not. You have to read until the end of the manga to find that out.
yeah, but
So
in
your
Kaguya-sama-
hypothesis is wrong.
in Kaguya-sama they still do develop more of a relationship, right? Like they wind up
Well,
understanding.
there's more exposition in the back. There's more background exposition. I do think that Kaguya-sama is a little bit more focused on the shtick than it necessarily is with the specific, like actual development. But
Yeah, but at least for the show, like it seemed to me from like episode 1 to episode 12, like in the very beginning, they really don't have any sort of understanding that the other one might even have feelings for them. But by what was it, like episode maybe 6 or something, like they
Mhm.
kind of start getting the gist that they're both into each other, but they don't really know which one is gonna confess first. Like in the very beginning, it was more of trying to get the other one to
okay,
confess, but
okay,
they didn't
okay.
really know if
Okay.
they were even like actually.
That's true. That
It was
like
a more self-centered, like, oh,
Yeah.
this person
The point-
must
the
be
point is-
interested.
so the idea is that there was an actual like slight change at least.
Yeah, there was something there.
Yeah.
Definitely, it's some
There's something there. Some
slight
beauty in the beast shit.
like
Yeah.
change of their internal monologues and whatnot
Yeah.
when they were going over like what was happening.
So yeah, that's mainly what I'm looking for, honestly. Any last
And
words?
you're
Tim?
probably not going to get that in this
Yeah.
12 episode span, I guess.
It depends on how good
It's
the
positive.
general comedy show
I don't
is.
know. I think comedy's pretty good.
Okay.
Pretty good. Like there was this once. My favorite was episode 4 where they were on a date, and they were like planning their date. Like this is the most. This is the most what is it, cost efficient, time efficient way to do it, and whatnot.
Time for- okay.
I know they were drawing fancy graphs and stuff, and there was this one scene on the roller coaster where the dude's scared of roller coasters, and she's all like, "You want to hold my hand?" Like if you hold because he was scared that the roller coaster would break down and whatnot, and he'd fall
Mhm.
fly out of the seat with their fancy radius. And
Fancy radius.
we were talking about our radiuses and whatnot, and I was like, okay, that's cool. And so
Geometry.
she's all like, if you hold my hand, we'll be the mass of 2 people, so you won't fall out of the seat. And he's all like, oh, that makes sense.
I
And
don't think
then
it
after
does.
the ride, he was all like, wait a minute,
Yeah.
that didn't make sense at all.
Yeah.
She was like, damn, you got me.
Nice. Okay, so it's not too bad, but again, probably just you have to be able to enjoy sort of the episodic nature of it.
You like science because like every episode there's this 3-minute snippet where they talk about what is a hypothesis and a what is it, a null what is it, like a null
a null hypothesis.
yeah, a null hypothesis, and I'm like, that's cool, let me skip through this because I don't care.
Toast is not one for the scientific method.
It's more like I don't want to like I want to get to the good parts. I don't need this.
Some people skip OPs and EDs. Toast is fucking skipping the hypothesis.
the premise of the backbone.
I don't need your pseudoscience. I skipped that when I watched Steins Gate as well.
Anyways,
If you don't, unless it's a stat sheet like in an RPG, where I will take a screenshot of the stat sheet, then look at it for the next 5 minutes, then go back to the anime, then don't tell me what to do with my life. But yeah, the show's great. I like it. It's lots of rom-com with science. I'm all in. It's obvious that they like each other, but they gotta prove it through science.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah. Okay.
The show's good. It's not
Okay.
the greatest show in the world, unlike other date-centric shows that happened last decade. But
keep going. Anyways.
yeah, I'm talking about Rocket Aikishi. But yeah,
Oh my god.
watch it. This show, you know, take it at face value.
Okay.
Lots of good, interesting characters. Yeah, it's great. I liked it.
Okay.
I'll recommend it. Why not?
Right. Why not? All right.
Why not?
Well, with that,
You
Then
know
moving
how to prove
Yes?
this if scientifically if something tastes good.
what?
Would you rather have your omelet made by a girl who put all her work into it,
You just answered my question with another question.
Or
Toast. would you like
rather
to answer?
or would you rather have it made by a muscle man in a factory?
Well, put it that way.
Yeah, that's how you scientifically prove that adding love to your dish makes it taste better.
I think it's more the fact that it's made in a factory.
Made in a factory by a bunch of muscly men.
A bunch of sweaty guys. Yeah, I don't
Well,
know.
Would you rather
the point is
Who
both
wouldn't want that?
both of them are made exactly the same, but one of them is made by a sweaty man in a factory, and one of them is made
one
by
of
a
them's in a
girl.
fucking factory.
But they're made exactly the same
No,
here.
They're not
Here,
the
dude.
same.
Yeah, they
They're
are.
the same.
point
If
is-
it's in
the
a
point of-
factory, it's
look,
not the
check,
same.
check out this
Rather
factory.
eat an omelet that was made in a clean kitchen or in the back of a dumpster. They're made the same way.
They're made.
Well,
the
maybe
po-
it's a clean factory.
Yeah,
you
look.
know?
Check
Like,
out
it's
this.
a good
Check out
factory.
this clean
That's
factory.
pretty
here.
clean.
Yeah, look at that. They look like a master craftsman of their art. But the point is, they're both made exactly the same. But which one do you think will taste better?
I think the factory one's got an upper hand here, man.
I don't know, man.
These
The
guys
factory
look
one's
like
not
they
made
know a
with
lot
love.
about eggs.
Okay, so Spy, you remember that one scene in Shokugeki no Soma where
Where
Soma's
they
with
made food. Remember that scene?
yeah,
where the hot dude made the food and then just fucked
Remember-
your ass while you ate it. Like, is that, like what are we?
you remember that Chinese dude, right? Like, what was his name, Koga? He had his Chinese rice factory with all the sweaty Chinese people making, what was it, mama tofu?
Suddenly this turned a little bit racist. Like, okay, sure.
Yeah, you know they were
Sure.
bald and sweating, so the sweaty Chinese men.
Okay, keep going.
And then Soma was over there on the other side of the road with his wagon stall. Guess who won
Yeah.
in the end? You don't remember that one? It was in the cooking festival arc.
No, I don't. I stopped reading Shokugeki no Soma after like literally after the what is it, the Indian curry guy, right? I stopped watching, or I stopped reading rather.
What,
So that was pretty early.
oh, that guy. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, Spy, who do you think won in the end? The Chinese factory with the Chinese restaurant with 2,000 people, or Soma with just 4 people? That's right. There was no love and affection in Koga's dishes. That's why they all flocked over to Soma. It's just like that.
Are you saying that Chinese people aren't able to put love into their dishes? Or
I'm just saying that- I'm
I'm
just
not sure
saying
what the
that-
moral of the story
No.
is.
The moral is that Soma put more love into his dish than Koga's. That's why he won in the end. Well, he didn't win.
Okay.
He just won that day.
Yeah. Okay. I
He
get you,
won the
dude.
battle, but not the war. So yeah.
I don't think
That's
that's
the
how
whole
you-
point. Yeah, see, Session brought up the picture.
Anyways,
See,
thank
look
you,
at those
Toast,
sweaty
for-
Chinese dudes. You know how you train your walk skills in Chinese cooking Spire?
What?
You turn on your walk, you get your wok and you flip rice in it until the rice kernels turn black. That's how you know. What?
I don't think that's how that works.
It's an ancient Chinese technique, dude.
Spire, I've read three Japanese manga that have Chinese cooking based in them.
The best part about what Toast just said is that I can literally see him holding his fingers up like the
Damn.
three.
How'd you get me? I did. Yeah, I read Shinjuku Ichiban. Mao did the thing with the walk and the rice, and his kernels turned black. And then they did it again in Shogeki no Soma. So look at that.
Why
Look,
not just do it with popcorn?
Gotta be real.
yeah, look at this
Why-
irrefutable evidence, Fire.
I apologize.
Wait, what did you say?
I
Do it with rocks? No, that will damage the
No,
walk.
popcorn. With popcorn.
Did the Chinese have popcorn back in the day?
I'm
Back in
assuming
ancient
they had,
China?
Probably not.
Yeah, it's Fire.
I don't
What's
think
more
so.
abundant, rice or popcorn in ancient Chinese cuisine? Probably rice, right?
I guess.
It's also and what Fire? I've never heard of fried popcorn rice in China. I've only heard of fried rice.
That, to be fair, that is a dish that was probably in Soma.
Yeah. But anyways,
Where am I going with this? I forgot.
anyways, I
yeah.
want to stop it there.
Yeah.
Toast for right now. But
Show's,
thank you.
show's
for
good. Watch it. It's funny. I like it. It's probably
Okay,
the
well-
my funniest show of this season, I guess.
Okay.
Other than the talking idol wall, I guess. I don't know if you can
Anyways.
beat that. Yeah, watch it. It's great. It's very there's not. It doesn't step out of its boundaries. It's in its own little niche. If you like pseudo/real science mixed in with rom-com, there you go.
Anyways, thank you, Toast, for helping to cover RikeKoi. And with that, we'll move on to Dark, who has another, obviously, very boring show for us.
Yeah, dude. Speaking of funny shows, not this one.
Damn it. Okay, so here's the thing. There was an explicit reason why I didn't want to put Dark in front, first out of all of us, because I didn't want to go through Dark's show first. I felt like I could not handle that, mentally, I would not be able to handle that going first.
All
But
right.
Toast going first literally did not help.
Listen, let's roll up the sleeves. Let's dig into this one. So I did
Wiggle our
Ishuzoku
fingers.
Reviewers, right?
Fair
Ishuzoku
warning.
Interspecies Reviewers.
I had a
Called
better
by some.
picture for Dark up in here, but he wouldn't let me use it.
Yeah, we're gonna
I
go
think
with
we
this
get
one.
banned.
We're gonna not get banned today. That's our plan. We'll see if it works out. You know, it might not. Who knows?
Anyways,
But
keep going.
yeah, so
We're gonna get caught by Funimation, is what you're saying?
yeah, we're gonna get caught by Funimation or Tokyo MX, either or.
Anyways, keep going.
Yeah, so I watched Ishizuki Reviewers. Now, when I first watched
How
it,
many?
I skimmed it.
Wait, Dark. How many episodes did you watch?
I watched either 3 or 4. I don't remember which was the one where they turned into girls.
Episode 3. Was it 3? 4 was the. Which one was 4?
I don't know. The one I watched was either 3 or 4 though.
Okay.
So yeah. So here's the thing, right? This show is about 3 people, 3 adventurers, so to speak. We're gonna use that term very loosely. So basically, it was set up to be like a fantasy world, but where prostitution is legal in the red light districts.
Okay, yeah.
So that kind of led me to believe that this was going to be an adventure show with a prostitution shtick at the end, right?
I thought,
It's not what this is.
yeah, well, I thought it was gonna be like, sort of. I thought it was just gonna be like a very sort of not like an adventure thing, but how do I say it? Like, you know, those slow life, they go through the isekai, right? And it's just feudal. It's they're running the shop or whatever it is, and then oh, in this world, elves do this, or
Yeah.
in this world, next time they go to the
Yeah,
mountains.
that's what I mean by adventure. I meant
Yeah,
more of
so,
just fantasy world shit, and
Yeah.
then they're just by the way, prostitutes.
Yeah, and then
They're-
the prostitute part was gonna be. I thought from the trailer, I thought they were just gonna be oh, boobies, oh no, and then they're just gonna cut away, and then it's just gonna
Yeah.
happen. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Dark. Make
Yeah,
sure.
turns out actually what this show is the entire thing is them writing about which species is the best, right?
Hold on, Dark. Hold on. Make sure you use the correct term.
What's the correct term?
Correct term is what suck you girl, because
Is that what it is?
yeah, because each of them has succubus blood running through them. You know that you guys have played what is it?
What?
You guys played Monmusu, right? Remember? Do you remember
no.
the story behind Monmusu, where the ancient monster girl queen, like, were all the reason why monster girls attack all the male women in the all the male women all the
What?
all the males in the world is because they have some sort of like ancient succubus DNA from the demon queen implanted in them, so that's why they're all rowdy like that. Monster Girl Quest, thank you. That's what it is.
All right.
So yeah, they're all-
Wait, yeah, what the fuck are you talking about with succu girl? All succubi are women.
Yeah.
Suck you girl is
Apparently,
the,
that's like what the prostitutes
The
are,
male
right?
succu-
Like they're all fucking.
even though they're different
Succubi.
species, they're all sucky girls because they have succubus blood running through their veins. That's why they're in this line of work.
Yeah. Anyway,
okay.
that doesn't really make
Okay.
anything any better.
You have to call them by their
Exactly.
artistical name.
Yeah, I'm just ruining the artistic integrity of this series.
The testicular integrity.
So tell us about our main
So-
characters.
So yeah, you got three main characters, right? You got you got Stunk, the guy with the ponytail. You got Zell, the elf guy, and then you got the hermaphrodite angel, Crimson, right?
That's because angels have both male and female parts. Yeah.
Yeah.
You like that, right?
So
Yeah.
so basically,
Yeah, I like how you're just like,
yeah,
just saying.
true, big true. But yeah, so the whole like thing that winds up happening is you basically have what is intended to be three different like I can't really say three different perspectives because the only one that's really different in a lot of cases is Crimvale. Crimvale is supposed to be like the innocent one that then gets essentially like thrown into this world of prostitution.
Doesn't he have the biggest down there?
Yeah,
That's the
I
joke,
think
right?
so. I think that's what it is. Yeah.
Just like in the dojins where the hermaphrodites are really big down there, and it's like that's not real.
Fuck.
But yeah, so it seemed like it was supposed to be like here's like three different perspectives, but Stunk and Zell are pretty much the same. And then Crimvale's like the regular one. Like, or not the regular one. Crimvale's like the more innocent one at first, and then just becomes like sort of the different perspective of like semi-feminine, but not full.
Spire, what's that tag for? You could say Crimvale is the Shoto one, right? That's what people like to call it.
Kind of. Kinda.
What's
I don't know.
Spire, what's the tag? What's the tag again for Shotas with big genitalia? I don't remember.
It's just literally Shota tag and then a
Don't-
big penis tag. That's it, dude.
I thought
I
that
hate
was a
to break it
specific
to you.
niche.
There's
I've
no
never searched for Shotos with big penis.
Yeah, I'm not an expert like Spire is in this sort of field.
it's just two entirely separate tags. Hate to burst your bubble, they're not that creative.
I've never even heard of. Is there a genre like that?
Is there oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like,
1000%.
because I
100%.
know like Futanari obviously have that whole thing where it's like they have the big dicks, right? But I've never heard of Shotas actually having big dicks because I thought
Yeah,
the point
that's
was
1000% like
Spire, there's
of
only
the
two
Shotas
types.
was that they were like small, right?
Spire,
Spire's
there's
not even a Shota connoisseur.
Oh my god, Spire hasn't even read a fucking MILF doji.
Spire, there's
Sorry,
only
guys.
two types: really small
Look.
or really big.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, there's
true.
no in between.
There's no in between in Japan. Anyway,
Anyway,
keep going.
let's get to the point, right? So that's like kind of so the main like way the episodes go
Mhm.
is, first of all, this is a full, by the way. Already fucking huge red flags raising for me. Because I saw the PV and I'm like, holy shit, this is 20 fucking minutes? Like this is not gonna end well.
Value, dude. That's
Yeah, so like the
yeah,
first
20
so like
minutes.
the first like 10 like 8 to 10 minutes, right? It's just them like kind of talking about fucking monster girls, right? Like they're just talking about it. It's just pure like exposition. Or like random shit happens. Like in episode 3, it's like that's when they, for like the first 10 minutes they're doing like they're turning into females, and then the last 10 minutes is like getting fucked, and then well no, that was like 7 minutes of that, or like 5 minutes, and then there's like 3 minutes of like a
when they're
wrap up.
talking, can I ask you something? It's like when they're talking about like getting to the brothel and like fucking the girls or whatever, right? Is it like
Yeah, they're either like in the
species
bar writing the book, or they're in.
it's like species trivia, or are they like legit like writing some sort of like smut script? Like what's
No,
going
it's
on
like
here?
species trivia. It's like a encyclopedia almost. Like here's like what they're like. Here's what they can quote unquote do, etc., etc.
It's like the Monster Girl encyclopedia made
Encyclopedia.
by yeah.
Okay.
It's just not as obviously in depth, and it's not. Yeah, like Session said. Yeah, cowgirls have milk. It's like
Surprise!
wow.
And and what did Stunk say about the fairies? They're it's the same. What did he say?
I don't remember about
You don't
fairies,
remember episode
honestly.
2 where the fat fairy chicks all like
I'm
all
gonna
right.
be perfectly honest with you. I remember like some of episode 1, and then like episode 3, I guess, is like burned into my fucking memory.
I thought you'd like episode 2 the most. 'Cause episode 2,
Not really.
the fat old fairies all like, all right, we have to measure your members because you know fairy girls are this short, they might not be able to take it.
Oh god, that fucking reminds me of how like there are like those fucking dojins that I don't like.
You don't
like,
read,
I
but you
know-
know of.
Yeah, no, I've read them. It's just like I don't
Nice.
understand like what the appeal is.
I've read them. I'm just not proud of it.
But yeah, so
my dick was not spitting of it. No, it's
But
just like,
so
you know
they're all
those-
so
you know,
okay. Sorry, continue.
you know those dojins where it's like you have the fairies, and then I guess that's the point of the show or like the episode, right? And then like the normal size human or whatever, right? And it's like the size difference. Like I don't understand what that is. Like I don't.
Okay. So it goes like this. The elf boy has the smallest genitalia, right? So so the
Yes.
fairy's all like, all right, you're this big, so you can take everyone, and he's all like, yeah, I did it. And then
Wow, I'm the
Logic.
winner.
and then they measure Stunk, and he's all like, wow, you're average. You like most of our fairies cannot handle you, so you can only choose between these 3, and they're all fat older fairies. Yeah, you know what's the tag? BBC, is that it? No, BBW.
No,
No.
BBW.
So they're all BBW. So he's all like, I guess I'll pick that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
And-
basically, it
and
just
then-
it just starts
hold
to
on,
turn
hold on.
devolve into like random like fetish stuff tied in like fantasy stuff, and then like obviously that's like sort of the second half of the episode of just the full on that and the prostitution. So there's not like to me like there's not really that much like comedy, right?
Okay.
Like the funny, like the quote unquote comedy is that, like, oh wow, the elf guy, small PP, but he's happy about it. Or like Stunk, like, oh man, he only can choose these like
Okay.
BBWs. Like, it's just very like, it's not really
It's not
like
exactly
that
highbrow.
funny. Yeah, it's just like humor that's like almost shock humor, or like humor where it's like.
It's like some dead baby joke kind of shit.
Yeah, what's like strange is that they're like, oh wow, like sexual humor, but it's like, but this is a series with like,
It's like prison school kind of almost, where it's like butts
It's-
and everybody's like supposed to laugh or something. It's like that.
I mean, it kind of, but it's like, oh, here's like, you know, these it's very hard to explain. It's almost like haha boobies, but
Yeah, that's what I meant with
it's
prison school.
not. It's not like why is that like that's the humor, but like the series is about prostitutes. Like no shit. Like that's what I felt when it was trying to pull that. It's like, oh dude, boobs. Like, oh sex scene. Like, yeah, I get it. Like that's kind of the point, but
it's
like, you got anything else?
humor,
And then
but taken seriously, I guess, because they're seriously like they're having actual serious conversations about this. They're not like laughing it off.
yeah. And it's also, and then it's like the most like the most like clear cut comedy comes at like the end of the episode for like every episode where Stunk gets like fucking bonked on the head by the maid girl Medri.
Okay,
And,
why?
like that just because she's like you're a fucking scumbag and then just like whacks him on the head.
Oh, okay.
Or he like tries to mess with her and she whacks him on the head. But in general, it's just like it's just not very good. Like
I can tell.
the only thing I can really say about the series is like it's got good audio visuals, obviously, especially for the type of series that it is. Like it's definitely deceiving in that sense. And I think that might be why companies were like kind of like not really like taken aback, have you, but like kind of like, oh wait, what the fuck, like this is an actual like full-on porn series, like wait, what? So like that might be where that comes from, but overall it's just not, the comedy isn't really there, the visuals are there, but you know, like kind of whatever at that point. But the pacing of the show, it's like it's just kind of fucking boring, honestly. Because you just have this standard like same thing every episode, and you have like the rundown that's like kind of pure exposition of, you know, like, oh wow, I really like these are these girls, these are what they are. Where
Okay.
what it would be better served is if it was more like, you know, here's like 10 minutes of an adventure. Like if you really wanted this to be a 20-minute series, like here's like 10 minutes of them doing the like slow life shit, right? But it
Yeah.
ties into like them interacting with part of the species or something.
Or like at the brothels or whatever. Yeah, exactly. And
yeah, either that or like,
even
yeah,
when,
like
even when they're there, just like kind of focusing on like what the species are like, even when they're there, kind of, right?
yeah, or just like showing the species like in sort of like in action, like doing things in the world.
Right, exactly.
I think would be more effective than sort of like what we have with it, where we're kind of just getting a lot of just straight the characters saying what the species are like with like an intercut, and then we get like some random like cuts of them,
Right.
of like that species, but it's never, I don't know, I just feel like it never really does it justice of like what it could be. The way I described it was, there's really no reason to me to watch this, because it's like the manga would probably be better to read because you can get through it faster and you can have it
Yeah.
in like shorter minutes.
You can kind of skip
shorter
through like
bite-sized
that sort of
pieces.
more cringe stuff. Is
Yeah.
generally what I'm saying.
Like Session said, 9-minute wait time in between like bone jokes. Like, I don't know. Like you may as well, like this should have been like a 10-minute show then, or an 8-minute show.
Yeah.
Or you could read a doujin. Like you could just read a doujin. There's plenty of them out there. They're probably a better comedy. To be honest.
Dark. I don't want to get in trouble. I have to watch the real anime.
You could play like
Dark either wants Hemingway or hentai, and there's no in between.
No, but I mean, it's like you could do that. You could do
I mean,
like
this is hentai.
yeah, if you wanted,
More or less.
but it's
It
not
is more or less
full,
that.
is the
It's-
thing,
it's-
right?
it's-
Like it's just slightly like
It's
censored
enough,
in that sense.
it's enough to not get immediately banned.
It's
No, not really. It's too much. It's too much to where it may as well be hentai, but it's not.
They
Right.
they don't show it going in, so they're
Yeah.
they're barely skimming the line. They're safe. They're safe.
they're crossing the line. Like
Yeah,
And-
they're crossing the line, but it's not full like
this is
hentai.
this is porn, but it's just softcore porn.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like it's so to me. It's like if you wanted a Monster Girl like encyclopedia thing, there's plenty of content out, like visual novels or like games out there that you could just play that are full on like hentai games where you could get the Monster Girl like encyclopedia shit.
right.
If you wanted, like better character interactions and development, like just watch like Monster Musume, where you have more of a world, you have more character interactions, you have the Monster Girls interacting with each other, and you get more trivia as well.
Right, exactly.
Like if you wanted that in ecchi, if you wanted even more like slice of life comedy shit and Monster Girls interacting with each other, like just watch Demi-chan if you don't want like the ecchi or hentai aspect to it.
Right, exactly.
So to me, it's just like it's just at this weird spot where it's like, as a full, this really is like kind of not really doing its job in that sense.
It's,
But did you get a boner?
No, because it was just like weird. Like
it's not like the animations were that great either, right? It's not.
I mean, they're not like the audio visuals aren't bad, but
This is the same studio that made
I mean, it's better. It's obviously better than like what a hentai would be, but it's just like
I don't know which one are we
it's
talking
just
about?
I don't know. I just feel like the fact that it's like basically softcore hentai just like kind of makes it even more like strange to me. Where I'm just like, what like I get what you're trying to do, but it seems like it'd be too much anyway, and you may as well just go all the way, right?
Right, exactly.
If
Which
we-
I mean, it getting removed from fucking multiple platforms kind of confirms that suspicion for me in that sense, but I don't know. I'm not. I guess like I'm just not really seeing it. You know.
So-
It's not a hot-blooded male, Dark.
Would
It's
you
just
so Dark? Would you recommend this?
No, not really. Like I would recommend if you want to see this series in particular, like
If you want to see the memes,
everything I've seen and heard, you may as well just read the manga. And just pacing wise, you should probably just read the manga. And more so, like, I would just recommend any of those other shows I named earlier
Yeah.
over it.
But okay,
Like, they're
well,
what?
what's a better Monster Girl show than this? On the other side of the spectrum.
As far as a show goes,
literally
you
anything.
like I said, like you may as well watch Monster Musume if you want like an ecchi. If you want more of a like sort of monster girls interacting with each other, you may as well watch Demi-chan.
What
Yeah,
about the
they-
other side
they-
of the spectrum,
Definitely
Dark?
the most sanitary.
What do you
I
mean
think,
the
out
other
of-
side of the spectrum?
Would you recommend this compared to Monster Girl Quest OVA episode? I think my favorite
I've
was 2.
never watched that, so I have no
Like,
idea.
Spire, would you recommend Monster Girl Quest OVA?
I haven't. Would I recommend that OVA? I haven't watched that OVA, so I wouldn't
It's
know.
it's the one with Succubus Queen. That was cool.
I know the title that you're speaking of, but I don't know what. the
Spire, you read a
OVA
lot of
is.
VNs. What VN would you recommend
Yes.
instead?
For
Involving
Monster Girls? I mean, there's plenty of like Monster Girl stuff out there. I don't know, dude.
just play
fucking-
Monster Girl Quest, dude.
Yeah,
Monster
like that's the thing. It's
Girl.
like just play Monster Girl Quest.
Yeah, I guess if you're that desperate, just play Monster Girl Quest. But anyways, any last words, Dark?
What was your favorite episode?
None of them.
I-
They're literally all. I'm just like whatever. It's literally whatever. Like that's the thing. Like you can't like. I can't even be like sitting here and being like, oh, you just don't like it because you don't like it being like fucking porn series. It's like, well, I read doujins. Like, it's whatever.
It's again, it's
like,
like
they can
it's
be
like the
done
concept.
well, but I just like
Yeah.
I didn't find this funny. I just kind of came off of it being like kind of bored and just
It's
being
the
like,
context, right? Where it's like you can't just be like, it's like you can't just kind of run up to a person and be like, "Oh, boobs," and then they're not gonna like laugh. Or whatever. That's not. It's just like
Yeah.
But
there's
it's also like it has more potential than that, especially with decent, like pretty good audio visuals. Like it has a lot more potential to be the full on like here's like the world and here's how like
right.
these
Like more
monster
of a
girl
soul line
like
kind of thing.
prostitution fits into that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I would say actually another show that had that as part of it was what was it? There was like a little bit of Copcraft that had like isekai prostitution essentially.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like that was like I just feel like if you want to do something like this and you want it to be like really entertaining, it's like you kind of have to have a lot more world building in it as to where this fits into the world and
Yeah,
how
or
people view it more so
the
than
point
like
is, it needs to focus on the trivia, right? It's like it can't. It needs to
well,
focus
because
on
this
the.
kind of focuses on trivia, but it gives you
It gives weight to
it
the
more
stuff.
tells you the trivia than it like shows you trivia,
Yeah.
which is also like kind of a pretty big big point that I'm not crazy over either. But
I don't know, Dark. I like the latest episode. They talked about Cyclops and Cyclops eyes.
yeah, well, I mean, I'm done after like 3 or 4 episodes, so I'm not
Dark,
gonna get much further than that. If after like an hour of content, I'm like pretty bored, then
but Dark, you like figurines, right?
I mean they're all right. Yeah.
You know what the next episode is? Golem girls. You can make your
Wow,
you can make your
dude.
perfect golem girl.
Anyways, moving on. Thank
Yeah,
you. Dark,
you
for
know what I just
covering-
realized? Dark took the one. Dark's taken both of my
That's true. I took the Isekai series and I took the fucking smut series.
you did.
Oh shit.
You literally left Toast nothing to do.
Left Toast with fucking nothing, dude.
Yeah. Anyways, I did actually notice that. That's pretty funny. But anyways, thank you, Dark, for.
I'd recommend it. Why not? If you're in for the ride, if you want to see what the reason why Funimation canceled it, get in there. It's even more popular now.
If for some reason you're like, I want to see this now, all I can suggest is be ready to, like, I would like consume it in like the fucking 5-minute chunks, right?
So in 5 minutes.
Yeah,
It's like dark chocolate, except
it's
not
just
at all.
like yeah, it's just gonna be like too much and like not really a whole lot going on, right?
Yeah, you're right.
It's like there's really not enough here to be that like entertaining for fucking 22 minutes. Should have been
Or-
5, but
Should have been a short, yeah.
yeah, should have been
Should
a short.
have just been like it should have been just like an ONA on like Nika Nika or some shit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, if it was like a fucking 5-minute to like 10-minute short, it probably would have been all right. But
Okay.
it's just
I can
once
get
you
that.
once you start getting to fucking 22 minutes, it just really starts feeling like there hasn't been a lot that's been that funny in these 22 minutes, and there's also like everyone's just kind of telling you trivia. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well.
It's
Anyways.
still gonna be even more popular now because it got canceled. So like, oh,
well, yeah, that's the
Now we
big
gotta
shame
know.
is that people are fucking saying that this is like, people are memeing it and bringing it to like the top of them all, and it's like, well, people who don't know better are now going to be like, oh, this is probably like a really fun smut series, and then they're going to get into it. It's probably just going to be like boring.
Yeah, it's just there.
It's like kind of boring, and that's about it.
Yeah. Very unfortunate. Again, I said the initial sort of premise had a lot of potential, but kind of flopped. Right. Anyways,
but I'm in it to win it, Dark. I'll watch the rest for you.
All right.
we have to move on. Thank you, Dark. And we are moving on to, I guess, my series, which is Kuutei Dragons, or Drifting Dragon.
Is it Dragon or Dragnon? Because I've seen Chinese videos with like drifting Dragnon.
Yeah, you've seen Chinese videos
And I'm
with
like,
bad
is
translation.
this the right one?
It's dragons, like the mythical beast.
Like
But anyways,
like GMM.
oh my god, Toast, please. Anyways, yeah, it's a Kuutei Dragons or Different Dragons by Polygon Pictures, who is a 3D specialized studio, and they helped with stuff
Oh
like
yeah, this is
Ajin.
3D.
They did Sidonia no Kishi. They just helped a little bit with stuff like Godzilla, so on and so forth. A lot of different stuff. So they did 3D with this, and it looks okay. The blending is pretty good, but the animation kind of gives it off. The animation kind of is like still a little bit like stuttery and not very like particularly good. But the thing is, there was what was it? There was somebody who used like interpolation software to turn it into 60 FPS, like one of the newer ones. And after doing that, it looked pretty decent, like the animation and stuff like that. So maybe
wait,
that's like the key.
you're saying that you watched it in 60 FPS fan made or something?
Yeah. I thought it would be fucking terrible because I was like, yeah, none of these have ever worked out, but it's like the only one with like a decent amount of like, like it seems like I might as well fucking try it. That it was actually okay. But it like sometimes like cuts and stuff like that. But no, it doesn't cut. I've only seen like one. But for most part, again, it's if you guys are gonna watch it, use if you can find like the 60 FPS version, watch that. That one's actually pretty good.
This is on Netflix, right? Just Japanese Netflix or not American one, right?
It comes out on American
I
Netflix
mean,
in
if Netflix,
April.
Netflix has the streaming for it, then Netflix only puts anime up when the series is done
Yeah,
airing.
so it comes out in April. Right now, there are already 11 episodes of Drifting Dragons. I haven't seen all of them. I've gone through a majority of them, but it's not going to come out on American Netflix until
April? Is that
April.
it?
Yes, as I said.
Damn, so this is gonna be like 25 episodes releasing all at once.
Yeah, it's gonna be weird.
That's how Netflix airs their anime.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyways, the general thing is It's like the the general setting is steampunk, so everybody's just kind of running around blimps, fucking wood, spheres, guns, steam engine, kind of all that fucking bullshit, right? And then they're hunting dragons, and dragons are like essentially just like the floating monsters. They're like floating sky monsters. They're not actually like dragons. They're like it's like the Fantasia whale kind of shit, right? But it's like they have like all these like weird appendages that they look like aliens, and people just run around on blimps and try to hunt them. And obviously, the dragons fight back, and it's dangerous. It could cost you your life, and it's always about like the like a big part of the episode whenever they fight like an actual whale. They don't always fight a whale in every episode, but when they do, it's like, oh man, are you going to, man, this dragon is going to almost take down our blimp, or oh, it's about to escape, or oh, it's doing something weird, blah, blah, and then they have to like obviously defeat it and risk their lives and do it, whatever.
So this sounds like Monster Hunter.
Yeah, once that character's going to die or toast. But
honestly, it's not a comparison many people will get, but it's like a very similar to how they hunt shit in Radiant. If you ever saw that, that series was based on like the French manga.
Yeah.
They
It
do a
was like
lot
a
of
couple of
sky
seasons.
hunts with like whale
Or
looking
no.
thing.
Was it like a year ago now?
Radiant?
But
yeah.
yeah, okay. But yeah, it's like that, and then it also kind of reminded me of the Magnificent Kotobuki, right? The series I told you about, with like the blimps like going around, and they're with each of the characters, and this is, as some of you might have, well, it's a 50-50 because like if you read the premise of the story, like just the synopsis, it's like a 50-50 on whether there's more like development, like character development, and whether they just like go with the whales or something like that, right? So this is actually more or less just episodic. So I mean, obviously there is like a tiny bit of like character development along the way, but for the most part, it is pretty much they just go around, like every episode is just like, oh, okay, here's the whale, it's time to kill it, and then like a little bit about like the background lore of like one of the characters, like, or even like a little bit about the personality of one of the characters, like, oh yeah, this guy who loves risking his life hunting the whales does it because blah blah blah, or like you'll hear this tidbit like this guy joined the whale hunting ship, or the dragon hunting ship because of his dad or something like that. So you'll like hear these like little bit of tidbits and stuff like that. But for the most part, it's pretty much very episodic. It's just like kill the whale and then we celebrate and then we stop. Or like we don't kill the whale, but it's like they're talking with the crew is talking with each other, and it's like, oh yeah, I got on this whaling ship because I got on this. I keep calling it whaling ship. I got it is more or less a whaling ship, but I got on this dragon hunting ship because of this. I got on this dragon hunting ship because of that, and it's very like straightforward. So a lot of it's kind of like that. Again, reminds me a lot of the Magnificent Kotobuki from a couple of seasons back, but obviously with much, much, much better CG, like 10 times better CG. So yeah, that's pretty much about it. There's not too much out there. Again, I think the fan-made version, the 60 FPS version, gives it a pretty good service, gives it a lot of good benefits in terms of smoothing up the animation. The blending itself is okay, but like the animation is a little bit awkward, so it does pretty well. But beyond that, there's really not too much to say. Oh, there's another one thing. One of the main characters, the orange hair girl, is voiced by Amamiya Sora, and Amamiya Sora, Sora Amamiya, whatever, is the voice behind Aqua in Konosuba and a couple of other characters.
She was also she was also the main chick in my series, RikeKoi. I didn't even realize it was her until you brought it up. And like, wait a minute.
Also, her breakout role is Akame in Akame Get Killed. So I guess I should have that. But anyways, so she has a pretty like distinct, like sort of like energetic kind of voice that's like a little bit on the lighter side. And what was very interesting this time around is this is just like a little bit for like the voice acting nerd in me, the voice actor Seiyu kind of nerd in me, but she made her voice sound a lot more like kind of like she's kind of like throwing her voice to make it a little bit more like tetchy, kind of like how Aoyuki does it. You know what I mean? Like that sort of voice where it's like it's kind of like the defiant kind of voice, right? The more like kid kind of like tomboyish kind of voice. Yeah. And I thought that was really interesting because obviously she's trying to be a little bit more flexible. It's kind of like how Toyosaki Aki, right, voice of Yui from K-On, kind of branched out when she was doing roles like Medaka in Medaka Box or Altair in Recreators, right? It was very interesting change, and I hope I see that. But beyond that, there's not really much. It's just episodic dragon hunting or not dragon hunting, and the people are all on the ship. And why did you join this dragon hunting ship? Oh, blah 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 blah. Oh man, we got to do things in this dragon hunting ship. This everyday blah 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 dragon hunting, blah 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 dragon hunting. There's not too much to it. Do you guys have any questions about the series?
This is a manga original, right?
I believe so. Yes.
I don't know. Just from the way you're describing it, it kind of sounds like it's just
There's probably going to be more serious stuff later on. I mean, this is probably not going to be like this 12th episode is probably not going to be, or 25 episode, right? No, it says 12. So it's probably not going to be like it's not like everything's going to happen, but
Yeah, but to me it kind of sounds like the studio picked it up, kind of just be like, hey,
we can do 3D.
we can do 3D if you guys want
exactly.
to, like hire us for your CG needs.
Studio Orange isn't the only guy. It's like the failed guy.
Well, didn't they have a contract with Netflix already? You said they did Knights of Sidonia. That was on Netflix. The Godzilla movies, that was also on Netflix. So they're like, hey, we got this new one. And Netflix is like, okay.
They're kind of like flexing their muscles, right? Yeah.
Probably. Sounds like it to me anyway. But
you should check out maybe like episode 1 or something like that, and then just see like the 60 FPS one. I think their animations probably will not. I think I've heard some complaints about the animation being pretty stuttery in the original.
Yeah, I mean, I've watched pretty much all of their stuff that they've done for Netflix. Like I've watched all the Godzilla stuff.
Yeah.
I watched Blame. I watched a decent amount of Knights of Sidonia,
Mhm.
and their CG typically tends to be um, a little bit more like skippy than say Studio Orange.
Right.
But like it's not bad, right? Like the art style when they
The blending is like fine, I think.
yeah when they're doing like lighting and stuff, it's really solid. But like the actual animation itself, I think is probably their biggest weakness. But I mean they're a decent studio,
Right, exactly.
so I did want to check this one out.
Yeah. Make sure you do. I'm curious to hear like what you might think about it, because I do think that like if this sort of thing where it's like the interpretation technology that a lot of like fan people are kind of working with, right? And like this obviously the sort of heavy push towards 3D and blending and sort of focusing around kind of CGI stuff, right? That the Japanese side is doing. That could be merged together properly. I think that's pretty much the answer, right? Like without investing in too much money, right?
Yeah, I mean I think the biggest thing that could come of that is sort of like the studios seeing that there's like a demand for like the idea of like if you're gonna do like the CG and then like they see that people are doing this 60 FPS frame interpolation stuff that
Right.
the CG that that the audience is looking for, like they don't necessarily want to see CG that is mimicking 2D animation, right? They want to
Right.
see like if they do want to see CG, then they want it to be animated with like CG's strengths.
Well,
right?
it can
You can
be
have
done in two ways. One can be done like how Arxis does it with a 2.5D, right? But that's also again it's quite difficult because the models have to be drawn in a way that's not natural at all, right?
yeah, like there's
And
a lot of
then
work that gets put
yeah,
into
it's like it looks like kind of flattened, but it's like weird. It's like super weird, the perspective thing, and the shaders obviously are not, it's not trivial, right?
Yeah, I mean
And
that's basically what Studio Orange does, right?
right, exactly.
That's why their CG looks so impressive because they warp the models, they warp, you know, the image that's on say the face or the eyes or, you know, just depending on the angle, like the model changes, right? They went into that a lot with the Hoseki no Kuni stuff, right? They were very open with how they were animating, and it was really interesting. But obviously a lot of CG studios, they don't necessarily have the money or the time to do that with a series, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So they'll have their model and then they'll animate it. But then, of course, because it's quote unquote anime, then they try to do, the traditional animation. You know, it's a little bit stuttery and it's a bit jarring for some people when like they see a 3D model, but it's moving in a manner that's typical of like a 2D hand drawn type of thing, right?
Right, or
And I think
moving, yeah, or at least like moving in a way that's like not so obvious that it's CG, like just like some sort of like obvious, like like some Gary's mod kind of shit going on. You know what I mean?
I think the key for a lot of studios, or at least this studio, to really refining like their form of CG is to just kind of realize that people don't really want to see the models moving quite like the way they make them move. And
Yeah,
just kind of tightening up like
it's
the
not
frame.
like an
Right?
MMD. They don't want like an MMD. It's more just
Yeah.
like yeah, it's making it seem a little bit more natural within the anime stuff for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah. Thanks for the question. Other than that, there's not too much there, but yeah, again, I would suggest again, people, if you do want to check it out, please, if you like sort of more episodic stuff, check it out. Check out the 60 FPS version, see if you like it. I think it's probably better.
How
But
are the
that's pretty much all
cooking
I had.
scenes? I heard that the cooking scenes was a very good part of this because they eat
Oh,
the
it's
dragon.
pretty. It's a lot of like very like sizzling, like meat stuff, because it's like a lot of the food scenes there. It's not like vegetables, whatever stuff there. It's right. It's like
Dragon meat.
yeah, it's like blocks of meat, like steak stuff that's like not as hard to create in like CG, right? And like slabs of butter, obviously on the pan and stuff like that, right? Like all of these are like square objects, or like you know what I mean. So
Yeah.
a lot of these are very easy to, much easier to simulate in like 3D, and so the cooking scenes are much improved. If it was like some sort of pile of like you know what I mean, like some like stir fried vegetables that they had to animate or whatever it is, like or like fried eggs or something that where they have to like imitate all like the ripples and wedges and stuff, like that, right? And where it's like the bubbles, they'd be fucked. They'd be fucked. But because they're animating stuff like steak most of the time, it's like fine. It's pretty good. It kind of reminded me of you guys ever play that one Mario Party game where you have to flip the
You mean that
the
one
meat
tiny
cube?
cube? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It kind of reminded me of that, to be honest. It was pretty interesting. But anyways, that's pretty much all I
Spire,
have.
have you read Dragon Recipe? How would you compare it to that?
Dragon Rest. I think I've
That's
heard of it.
Korean. It's a Korean webtoon, web novel.
I don't read Korean
Why not?
webtoons.
You can read Korean, I can't.
I can read it. I have read them before, but I don't read them now.
So you
Letting
don't-
his skills go to waste.
Yeah, Spire.
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah, Spire translates solo leveling and peerless dad for me.
I've had a phase where I translated webtoons for a bit and I stopped. It's obnoxious. I don't want to do it. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. We are going to move on to our last lesson. Nier, what do you have for us?
Wow.
You have an exciting show like Ishuzoku Reviewers.
Ha ha ha. Not quite. But I watched series with some pretty big names behind it. I watched ID Invaded.
Yep.
Um,
Tell us
Which-
who directed it.
yeah. So A Aoki.
Mhm.
I'll just list off some of the series he's directed.
Oh.
let me know if these ring any bells. So he's worked on Aldnoah Zero,
Mhm.
Oh.
both seasons. He
Good start.
directed Fate Zero.
What's that?
Mhm. That's
He directed the first Kara no Kyokai movie.
Mhm.
That's a good one.
He directed Recreators,
What's that?
and he was also the series composition for Recreators.
you know.
And he directed some other like minor stuff.
You forgot Girls Bravo. That's what brought me back
Yeah.
into anime. Not really.
So he is working with NAS Corporation Limited, right?
Yeah. So
But-
this
Yeah,
this
so
series
can I-
is done by Naz.
So it's like
The artist?
can I list some of the series that this studio has done?
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna go into it, but sure.
Yeah, so obviously the director has come from Ya's side. Aoki is more of a kind of like I do whatever I want kind of person.
Yeah.
But the series that NAS corporations has worked on before ID Invaded is what is it? One is like My Sister, My Writer, which is that one like rom-com stuff, right?
That's not.
imo, right?
that's
俺が
weird.
好きなの妹だけど妹じゃない right?
Oh, I see
Yeah, the
some
one
good-
where the animators like send messages for help in the credits. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then Hajimete no Gal, right? And then like stuff like Dramatical Murder. So it's like very like
Angle War. Yeah.
Angle Record of Mongol Invasion. Yeah, stuff that's not exactly on like the top 5 in the last decade or whatever it is. You know what I mean?
Infinite
say
Dentagram
that.
was pretty good.
Infinite Dengurgaim is it's definitely a series.
this season.
Yeah. It was alright.
But anyway, yeah. Keep going here.
Yeah. So, I when we first covered this, I actually thought this was going to be another Troika series, but it's not, right? It's done by Studio Naz, who's fairly, I guess, minor studio. Like they're not necessarily a bad studio, but they're not necessarily a good studio either, right? And when we covered this in the previews, because I thought this was going to be a Troika series, I was like pretty sure this was going to be like yeah, it'll probably start off strong.
Yeah, we all thought it
and-
was gonna be Troika. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, it'll probably start off strong, and then it'll drop off and probably go into some stupid
Kid
bullshit,
Rubik's will
right?
randomly visit in like for episode 4.
Yeah. And then when I looked this up, in order to get my notes right for covering this series, I was like, wait a minute, that's not Studio Troika, which is weird because
Yeah.
this follows the exact same pattern that every single Studio Troika series does.
Well, I'm
Um,
sure he brought in people. It's just that like
yeah, more than likely.
the grunts is like Naz.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But yeah, so this series starts off really strong. When we were covering it, we were like, this has a really cool aesthetic, right? Like the guys
Mhm. Yeah, for sure.
breaking apart, the world is all floating around.
We also said that it would have the same sort of dangers as what Troika did previously, right? We
of
said that.
course,
Yeah, we were like, oh, if they go too far in like the Chunibyo kind of route, they're like,
yeah.
the world is fucking.
But what's funny about like the whole the broken world and the guys got missing pieces and stuff. Yeah, that's only relevant for episode 1. So what this series is this is a the series wants to be a detective series, but it's not. Basically, the main character is a former cop, and
Yes.
he dives into these things called ID wells. And
Oh, this sounds like the
Uh,
goldfish show you talked about.
a
last
little
time.
bit, right?
Pet.
A little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah, exactly.
And what ID wells are these weird, like visualizations of the mind.
Oh,
and
like the id, ego, and super ego. I get it.
Yeah, the way they find these is by using this device. I don't remember what it's called because it's a really long name. But it's basically it might as well be the psychopath's gun, but it's not a gun. And it detects like the intent to kill.
Oh
when
my god, it's another.
They call it some weird particle, right?
Right,
And they linger around.
midichlorians, yeah.
They linger around crime scenes, right? And when they
Yeah, oh, that shit reminds me of fucking the thing that you just said. Kind of, that series with like the cult or whatever, the supernatural time stopping cult thing.
yeah,
Oh, Kokaku.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of
Who?
what you know what I mean? Yeah, that tone.
yeah, but it's not as good. So
Keep going.
so basically, they work for this. Essentially, they're like this super department where this team goes to the crime scene. They scan this little device around. They go, oh, there's serial killer particles around, and then because they get these particles, they can identify the ID well, and then the main character dives into the ID well, and then he every time he dives in, he loses all of his memories. And so I guess like the machine that they use to like send him in, it has like this like trigger, right? And it's basically every time he goes in, he goes, I don't know who I am, but I know who this dead girl on the ground is, right? And it's the same girl every time.
Okay.
It's this girl, the girl in the white dress, black hair, and she's always dead. And he's like, I know who this girl is, and because I know who this girl is, I know who I am. And I'm like the greatest detective in the world, and it's my job to figure out why she died, right? And this is this is like a pretty episodic series, but there's like this overarching plot of like this super mastermind villain that's like creating serial killers.
Okay. So there's an end boss essentially, but
Yeah, there's like a big
up
bad.
until, like probably like episode 8, 9 or something like that. It's mostly, or is it 25 episodes?
This is a 13 episode series.
So probably up until like episode 8, 9, like it's gonna be
Yeah,
right?
it's gonna be pretty episodic up until like the last few episodes.
Yeah. 8, 9. Yeah.
But essentially, he dives into these weird worlds, and then he has to figure out why this girl died. and then
So it's Psychonauts. Yeah,
The way- the
Psychonauts,
way-
but like with.
yeah, the way the girl dies relates to, like the psyche of the serial killer, and then, you know, as he goes through, I guess the mystery of solving it, like how she died, or like how the world around him is like killing people. Like that's basically how he discovers who the killer is, right? And that part of the series isn't bad. It's not too. It's pretty decent, right?
How much time does that take?
It it varies between the episodes, right? So the
Okay.
first case that they do, I think, takes about an episode and a half, right?
Okay. Okay.
Um,
Just
mostly
to kind of like
because
show people the ropes.
yeah, mostly because they're fleshing out like how it goes.
Yeah.
There's been cases where he's literally in there for not even half the episode, right?
Okay.
But yeah, it varies. But like the stuff where he's in like this weird, matrixy world that's like, you know, the rules of just, like physics don't matter, or it's just constantly exploding and burning around him, or like it's this island in the sky that's just falling constantly. Like
Fuck,
there's
okay.
they're all different, right? And
Right,
it's the
right.
most interesting part of the show. The problem is, and this problem is evident within the first like 5 minutes of the first episode, right?
Mhm.
Is they don't really let you appreciate that, right? So the series starts
Okay.
off immediately, like it starts you off like, boom, he's in the world. He has no idea who he is. All the only thing we know, like going in, is that he wakes up. He's a detective. He has to figure out how this girl died, right?
Mhm.
And he goes about figuring out like the rules of this world, and how like all the pieces of him are like disjointed. Like he's got the disjointed limbs and stuff that's in like all the promo material, and
Okay.
he can use his arm to like extend it and grab like broken pieces of the world and bring them together, and he
Okay.
like assembles the house, and he's like figuring out like what happened. But like that all that stuff's interesting, right? But then it immediately takes you out, and then it sends you into like this like control room where there's a bunch of
What?
these nameless characters. These characters are like never named.
What the fuck?
And they're like, quick, analyze this thing that he's looking at, and look at this, analyze this calendar and figure out what it means in the memories, and you know, like it's just all this bullshit that is completely irrelevant to him solving this mystery. And it's
What?
like, why is this here? Like I don't need
It's focusing too much on like uh how do I say this? How the mystery looks. You know what I mean? How the mystery process looks. If that makes sense. Instead of how the mystery
I
process
mean,
is, how the mystery process looks. You know what I mean?
yeah, it's like the main character is here trying to solve the mystery,
Mhm.
and then there's this outside room that's just ass pulling constantly, and it's like, this is how we are going to solve the mystery.
It's like Assassin's Creed.
It's like,
Fuck.
it,
It's like
I mean, it basically is, right? Like
yeah, it's like Assassin's
like
Creed.
the main character is in this world, and then they're constantly showing these other characters
Yeah.
that are like basically his higher ups, right?
Right,
And
exactly.
they're all like look at what he's looking at, and
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
look
it's
at this,
Assassin's
like this person that he sees in the memory, identify them immediately and see where they live, and then send a team out to investigate them. And it's like,
Right, exactly.
okay, what is this series? Like, is it a detective
Yeah,
series, or is it a cop show? Like, it
Yeah,
doesn't know what it wants to be,
exactly.
and it's doing them both at the same time, and it's really unfocused.
And the thing is, well, it also, as you said, it could have been a very like, you know how you've seen Tantali no Shoka, right?
Yeah.
It could have, in my opinion, right, from what you've described, it could have been also like Tantali no Shoka in a sense where it's like it takes a very like it like almost like purposefully slows its pace down when it's like at certain like
Yeah, I
points in
mean,
the story where it's like let's say like every time he like not even enters a scene, but it's like, let's say he's like exiting somebody's like dream or something like that, right? He sees like the world, the landscape of the dream. Like imagine like Dentali no Shoka opening, like playing at that time. That'd be really cool, right?
Yeah, like when I opened up the first episode of this, right? The first few minutes are like, this is good. Like this is good because it's slow paced, it's interesting, it's got a really good aesthetic. It's got fairly interesting main character. Right? It doesn't
Right.
it doesn't hurt that he's voiced by Kenjiro Suda. Really good voice actor.
Yeah,
Um,
immediate value.
Yeah. And it's like this slow paced detective stuff. He's figuring out all this different stuff about the world, about like who he's supposed to be, who this girl is, and then like there's other people in this world that are also like all like disjointed and fragmented. But then it immediately takes you out, and then it's like, okay, it's CSI now. And it's like, no, I didn't want this. And then after the first episode, and then like into episode 2, they take him out of the like fragmented world, and then it's like, okay, all that like really cool aesthetic stuff that you saw in the promos, that's gone. It's never coming back. Like, oh, okay, why? And on the other worlds he goes into are cool. They're interesting, right? Like the one in episode 6, he goes into this one where it's like it's a train car, right?
Right.
But like so the girl is dead in one of the seats. There's blood everywhere, and then there's like footprints in blood that's leading all across the train. So he follows them, and then when he gets to the last car, he goes through the door, and he realizes he's in the first car. So the whole train
It's a looping. Yeah.
is a loop, right?
Yeah.
Which like just like in terms of a detective story, like that premise is gold, right?
Right. Exactly.
But because they are constantly doing this CSI shit,
Like checking up on what he.
yeah,
how
the
he's doing in
premise
the
is
car.
irrelevant, right?
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
the train will go by something, and then they'll immediately pull out to like the CSI room, and they're
Analysis,
like,
yeah,
like,
exactly.
wait, freeze that. Enhance. They just passed by the victims of this other serial killer. Who cares?
Yeah.
Like this is not important. Like
Yeah.
it
Just
has
let it
no bearing
relax.
on
Yeah.
this like really cool setting that you could have had.
Right.
And
Right.
it's just so disappointing. Like, this could have been
Right.
this could have been one of the coolest detective series like out there.
Yeah.
Right? Like the
also in
idea,
quite a while.
yeah, like the idea of like a detective series where a guy goes into like the minds of serial killers, and every
Yeah.
time he goes in, he doesn't remember anything, right?
Right.
And like that's such a cool premise, but it's
Right.
ruined by all this like cop show drama stuff, and
Right.
there's like
And not
there's
understanding the pace of
yeah,
the
like
series.
there's this dumb action stuff every once
Yeah.
in a while, and then like there's these secondary characters that like I can't give a shit about, right?
Yeah.
Um, and then like there's this weird subplot that they do for like a third of an episode where like one of the serial killers that they catch in like the second episode or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
they try to send him in as a replacement because
Fuck.
like the main character gets sent into solitary confinement because uh by the way, the main character is like he's a former cop, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I guess apparently when he was away on his job one time, his family got murdered like brutally by this serial killer, right?
Right.
And I guess he he's quote unquote become a serial killer, but not really, because the way he kills people is basically when he delves into their minds and stuff, like he knows all their weaknesses and shit, right? So
Yeah.
when they lock serial killers up like in this weird prison that they have like in this special area, for some reason I guess they decide to put them in front of him, and he's
Okay.
like he talks to them and he basically just convinces them to commit suicide, right?
What the fuck?
And I guess for some reason they just keep putting people in front of them,
Yeah.
and then the characters around him are
Block
like,
of words shit.
yeah, the characters around him are like, are you gonna keep doing this? And he's like, I don't know, bro.
Yeah.
And it's like, why do you keep putting people in front of him? If he keeps doing it, he's done this apparently 5 times now, and
Yeah.
I guess they just haven't learned their lesson.
Yeah. Fuck.
But I don't know. Like it's just, I don't know. It's kind of sad. Like this series could have been really cool. This series could have been really, really good.
Yeah.
And the
it's-
stuff that's good about this series, like it is good, but it's so bogged down by this like really bad, really poorly thought out like cop, uh, like investigation stuff. That's just, it's not good because
And
like
and
it's not
again,
even
it's because
like,
they're outside of the world. They have to do like the cut in, cut out kind of thing all the time.
yeah, and it's not even like, the cop stuff is like well done either, right? Because it's like
Yeah.
you know this future cop stuff, right? So like the millisecond that the guy like sees somebody's face, right? They're like immediately within seconds, they're like, we know who this guy is, we know where he lives, that's the guy, right? And it's like,
Right.
well, like they'll literally say the guy like is the serial killer before the main character can even figure it out, and then they'll go and like track this guy down, and then the main character is still in the world trying to figure out the mystery, and it's like, why is he still in there? You found him.
Exactly.
Just take him out.
right.
And, and I don't know. It's really poorly balanced.
It's so
For
unfortunate too, because again, it's that sort of thing is not like the premise. I mean, obviously there are a lot of good premises floating around, but it's like it's one that could have been
yeah, I mean,
carried successfully. It
like
could
it's a
it's one that
premise that resonates so well with the idea of a detective series, right?
yeah, it could have been carried out much more successfully.
Yeah. I don't know. It's it's not a good show. I'll say that. It's not like the worst thing I've watched. It's
Yeah.
not. I'd say it's probably better, more enjoyable than like pretty much every Troika show.
At least it didn't flop immediately.
Yeah. But I mean, it's not good. It's not bad, but it's
Yeah.
not good.
yeah, I feel you. I feel you.
In terms of visuals, it's like mediocre. There's only one cut that I've been like kind of like, oh, that wasn't bad. But it was a scene that was really stupid.
Mhm.
So it kind of like canceled itself out. But yeah, I don't know. If you're like if you're really desperate for like a mystery series this season, maybe check it out.
But you
But
can also just check out. Yeah, also I just check out literally all the other series.
yeah, there's a lot of other series that you could watch.
Is it
that are
better than
just,
the
like,
Goldfish show?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's probably better.
yeah. I mean, this show has like it has an idea of what it wants to do. Um, I mean, it has 2 ideas of what it wants to do. One of them's decent. One of them's not so good. But like, it's going somewhere, right? Pet wasn't going anywhere. It had no idea what it wanted to be. But yeah, I it exists. You know.
well, it's again very unfortunate, but it, I don't know. It's like I don't know. It's not like Japan doesn't have experience with this sort of series, but it's very unfortunate that it did turn out this way.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just kind of disappointed because like this is an original, by the way, right? It's completely original.
Yes.
And this is you know a pretty seasoned director, right?
Yeah,
Um,
and he's probably he again from what you said, it seems like he brought along a staff.
yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's just the writing. I don't know, but Just sad to see, I guess.
Yeah. Oh well. Anyways, thank you for helping to cover ID Invaded. I know it was one of the sort of bigger names this season, so we didn't cover it.
Near,
Um,
I may have had the intellectual show, but you've had the most cerebral show today. Get it?
God damn it, Toast. Anyways, moving on to news. News this time around is actually pretty short as well, so we'll run through it pretty quickly.
You gonna bring up Funimation?
I think so. Yeah. I'm gonna
Alright.
bring up. I'm gonna bring it up. Anyways, first, the International Animated Film Society, ASIFA Hollywood, announced winners for its 47th annual Annie Awards on Saturday. No anime or Japanese video games won awards since they were nominated.
Based.
Nice. The awards ceremony honored the victims of. By the way, yeah, the awards ceremony honored the victims of horrific fire at Kyoto Animation's first studio building during a quote-unquote in memoriam segment. Blah blah. As previously announced, the awards presented late director Satoshi Kon with the prestigious Winsor McKay Award. The ASIFA Hollywood Board of Directors select the winners for their exemplary industry careers. Blah. But yeah, a lot of this stuff like Oku's In, Promare, Weathering with You, blah blah, were nominated in the Best Indie Feature category. But I Lost My Body took the award. Weathering with You was also nominated for Best FX for Feature, but Frozen 2 won the award. So stuff like that. Alita Battle Angel and Pokemon Detective Pikachu were both nominated for the Best Character Animation Live Action Award, but Avengers Endgame won the award.
Oh
What
my
is this?
God.
For best live action?
I mean, I
No,
was
Best
like,
Character Animation, Best
Oh.
Character Animation Live Action.
I was like, I Lost
What's
My Body was
happening?
pretty good, so I
Yeah,
could
yeah,
say that.
exactly.
But then it's like, yeah, Avengers, by the way.
What is that? The Annie Awards recognize outstanding achievement in animation. Blah blah. Anyways, a little bit weird. Next, something that everybody might enjoy.
You
evening
you can tell me
session.
What to do?
The evening session of the quote-unquote Science ADV Live, Steins Gate.
Speaking
10,
of Steins
10.
Gate,
What?
what?
Okay, yeah. Okay, 10. Fucking 110th anniversary event announced with a teaser video on Sunday. The Steins Gate game is inspiring a live-action television adaptation in Hollywood. Definitely a phrase that everybody wants to hear.
So wait, the game, not the anime? That'll be
Yeah,
different.
the game. I mean, yeah, it's gonna be.
What?
But I mean, it doesn't. It's not really.
The same story.
Do you think those people read the game? But they only watched the anime and like, oh yeah, this is a game. Let's just say it's this. It's just.
I mean, they're not
It's
gonna.
the
It's not
same
like,
story.
No, it's not.
It's not like they're. It's not like they're gonna have like phones. Like they're just gonna be like looking at the phones half the time in the show. Like you know what I mean? It's like they're gonna probably just gonna. I mean, it's gonna be all like the standard stuff that's both in the game and the anime. But anyways, Skydance Television is producing the project. According to the announcement, the project will stream worldwide as a television series, quote unquote, soon.
Now tell us about
Oh,
the other one, the more important one.
Skydance Television had announced in 2016 that it was working on a live-action Sword Art Online series. Blah, blah,
Yikes.
blah.
Yeah.
Later on, it said in 2018 that the series has been sold to Netflix and that quote unquote Kirito and Asuna will be played by Asian actors.
Does that matter?
Well, thank God. Now it's saved. No,
Just fucking. I don't know. I don't know what to say about that.
They announced a new game too, dude.
Yeah.
Uh,
So Sword Art Online is going to be the most successful video anime to real life adaptation that we've ever had.
you're about to make me barf out my chicken
Probably
wing.
not, bro.
You're about
I'm pretty sure Battle Angel Alita was extremely successful.
I feel like this sort of. I feel like Sword Art Online live action is going to be like gonna be like Saki live action where it looks like a
Aw, dude. Just
you
like
know?
a jab.
Yeah, it's
It's literally the only way you can imagine like
especially since Kirito.
live action Sword Art
Wait,
Online character designs, right?
Have you seen that
Oh no! What if they do
the parody
CG?
of Fate? have you seen that parody of Fate Stay Night where it's like the AV parody with the Faith Stay Night or whatever it is,
Yeah,
where it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
the archer is like Asian and stuff like that, and it looks like he's like all tan and shit. Have you seen that one?
No,
Yeah.
you perverts.
It's like that, but with Sword Art Online.
Spire, what if the Aincrad stuff is all CG?
They're not
What
gonna
if
do
the
fucking
Aincrads-
anything. Like,
They did the King's Avatar with really bad Chinese CG for the game parts. Why wouldn't they do that for this one?
I mean, I regardless of what a practice of that series, I think it's not gonna end up great. But
I
anyway.
believe in it.
honestly, the only way you could successfully like turn SAO into like a live action movie or series or whatever is if you did something like what the fuck was that one with Tom Cruise? The adaptation of All You Need Is Kill? The one where he like dies and respawns?
Oh,
Wasn't it
Edge of
fucking-
Tomorrow?
Edge of
Yeah,
Tomorrow.
that
Yeah.
one. They could like completely change that, right?
Yeah,
Like, that's the only way you can really adapt SAO.
Yeah.
Like you need to change everything.
They should just make it like Sonic. Anyways,
Who's gonna see the Sonic movie next week? I am.
I'll see the review. But next, Judge Takuya Miyama of the Supreme Court of Japan's first petty bench rejected on Monday the appeal of designer Akashi Takahashi, age 56, who was convicted in 2016 for creating and selling realistic computer graphic images of naked underage girls. Takahashi dropped his appeal of the previous court's charges, and the Supreme Court affirmed the Tokyo High Court's earlier judgment, upholding the defendant's guilty verdict and 300,000 yen, which is about a $2,700 fine. Miyama stated child pornography is a depiction of what can be visually recognized as a child's body. As the CG is based upon actual nudes, children's photographs, and depict a child's body, it is child pornography. So that's how it is, people.
Yeah,
We
don't do
covered
that.
we covered this original story, didn't
I think we covered the entire timeline. Yes.
we? Yeah. Like this guy is a fucking clown, man.
He's like, but I did 3D model, guys.
Like
If you had
How,
a 3D, if you had a 3D model of it,
how
gross.
much gall do you have to like appeal that?
Yeah, exactly.
Like you were like the court's just like, yeah, bro, you literally based these off of child pornography.
Yeah,
Like,
these are like it's essentially like drawing a hyper realistic photo and then being like, by the way, it's just a picture. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's like tracing
Just tracing, yeah.
tracing an image of child pornography. Being like,
Rotoscoping
it's not CP, it's a drawing. Like,
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
you traced CP.
Yeah.
I mean, either way, it's like you had it, and you had to have had it in your
Yeah,
possession.
he had
so
to,
it doesn't
he had
really
the
matter
reference
anymore,
image,
anyway.
obviously.
Like,
yeah, he
What
could
a
have. He
fucking
could have.
dumb
yeah.
idiot.
Just very stupid. Don't. Just don't. Let's not split hairs.
yeah,
anyways.
really, just hard stances here right now.
Yeah.
It's a lot to ask, but
just have some common sense. But anyways, this is the news everybody was waiting for. Funimation confirmed with ANN on Friday that has removed the interspecies reviewers or Ishuzoku Reviewers anime
No.
from its streaming platform. The company provided ANN with the following statement from a spokesperson. After careful consideration, we determined that the series falls outside of our standards. We have the utmost respect for our creators, so rather than substantially alter the content, we felt taking it down was the most respectful choice.
by the way, they still have the
is
license.
it just like, yeah,
Yeah,
is it?
they're holding on to the license, by the way.
Or it's yeah.
Wait, they're
it's
holding
really-
on to the license?
Yes, they're holding
Yeah,
on
they
to the
didn't
license.
release
So there is literally no way to legally watch this show with English subtitles.
That is actually like the most asshole thing one could. That is literally that's like, you know how a company sometimes like take like patents or like buy whatever or like rights like patent rights, and then they just shelve it for like 5 or 7 like 10 years or whatever.
Yeah,
That's
like Sony.
literally that. Yeah, that's literally how like what is happening right now.
Yeah.
That's some scummy shit.
I mean, they're probably just gonna like re-release it down the line, right? Be like, actually, on second thought,
They're probably gonna try
I
to
really
do
wanted to
they
listen to the
won't.
community.
What they're gonna do is like, I mean, obviously, first of all, it's better. it's quote unquote better for them to just hold on, just in case they could maybe squeeze something. But what could happen? I'm not saying like it will happen. But what could happen is that they'll start running or start working with like a third party kind of place, right? That is like 18 plus whatever, okay, right? And then they sell it off there. You know what I mean? That could be a thing that happens. Again, very, very like asshole-ish thing to do with the licensing rights as like a general concept.
I mean, I'd like. How fucking stupid do you have to be to license this?
Yeah, I
I
know.
know.
Well, I mean, they also
I
did
think what
Hachime to the
likely
Gal.
happened was just that
They've been
like
they've been
someone
trying to cross the line for or not, like they've been trying to go as close to the edge as possible for a while now. Like literally, like Hajime to no Gal is actually like Oguro Yui, like voice actor, right? That is Hajime to no Gal is the closest you will get to hear her doing like eroge kind of voice or like hentai voice. Like I'm not even kidding, because she like legit has like scenes in there that's like, oh, she's just gonna get up in the bed and shit like that. You know what I mean? So like Funimation has been like, yeah, we don't give a fuck until people were like, yeah, this seems like not a thing. You know what I mean?
well, what I feel like probably happened was they probably don't have much like oversight,
hmm
I mean,
right?
they probably
So
just
it was
bid.
probably just like
Yeah.
people
They
who
just bid on the
fucking
licenses in order to beat Crunchyroll, and then they're like, "Oh, wait a minute, this is fucking porn."
yeah. So I feel like 3 episodes in, just either someone very high up saw it, or
I
maybe
mean,
what I was saying too is maybe even the dubbers were just like, I don't want to fucking do this. Like I don't want
Yeah.
to do this shit for another
they could have
8
just dropped. They
episodes.
could have just dropped the dub.
Yeah.
That's true too. Yeah.
Like it's obvious that they like didn't realize what kind of show it was. The
They
crazy
just
thing
they
is,
just don't have
that they
any QC. Like
they translated 3 episodes of it and they dubbed 2 of it before they
Well,
realized. Like,
the question I have is like, do you think that people that low like didn't realize, or do you think that like someone way higher up, like 3 weeks in, people were just like, do you
no, no,
realize what the
no.
fuck you're showing?
No,
Like,
no, no, no. This is what is happening. So it's like in general with stuff like this, right? Especially in terms of like getting contracts for stuff like that, right? It's mainly split up into two parts. Obviously, you have like the people on the project, right, doing the work, and people on a pilot like, by the way, you're doing this project, and they're like, oh, they start doing the project or they complain or whatever it is, right? And then there are the people up on top. They're like, we'll just take the project or like we'll bid. Like the people up on top are all the ones that are like bidding, right? They're not like really connected with the work. They're just kind of bidding. They're like manager,
yeah,
right? And then they all bid, and they're all retarded people. And so they're like, oh, well, this is about girls, and weeps like girls, right? And then they bought the contract. They passed on the project to everybody down low, and there's not much of like a huge managerial train in these like localization companies, right? It's probably the people up on top, and then they have some sort of like loose like coordinator or whatever, right? That hires the voice actors and whatever, right? And then they have them do their shit, right? And then later on, probably the people down low were like complaining, and then people online were complaining, and somebody up on top got wind of it, and they were like, "Oh shit, what the? Wait, really? It's porn?" And then they shut it down. If that makes sense.
probably.
Yeah. So that's essentially the TLDR is that the people up on top are retarded.
yeah, I
They're
mean,
retarded.
it's like I can't believe it. What, you mean to tell me that there's
It's
sex
like
in this show about
it's like
prostitute? What the fuck?
you know that meme of like that one the hentai, or not the hentai, but it's like the H like manga scene where it's like, wait a minute, this isn't whatever, it's anal sex. It's like that.
This isn't Smash Bros.
It's anal sex. Yeah, it's like that. It's like that fucking meme. But yeah, I feel like it's like that. We were just surprised, and for like, no reason, because they were just like they just picked it. But yeah, it's just higher ups kind of thing. Very unfortunate. Last piece of news. We have no people news this time around, by the way. But last piece of news, a manga list for people who might be interested. So you know how sometimes we link or we talk about news like the manga Taisho awards like that, where you know people give awards to like very like interesting manga series. So this one, Japanese online bookstore Honya Club announced the results of its Zenkoku Shotenin Eranda Osusume Kon 2020. Nationwide bookstore employees recommended comics of 2020. Following Friday, poll asked 1,100 professional bookstore employees in Japan for the top 50 manga series that had fewer than 5 volumes as of November 11, 2009. So these are like new, relatively new series. The awards also listed the employees' picks for the top 3 sports genre manga. So these aren't going to be like super like kind of like dark chocolate, like get you thinking kind of stuff. They're going to be like stuff that if you've read a lot of series and you want something new, but it still has a general sort of like standard appeal and it's not just like something super out of the blue, then you'll like this sort of stuff. If you guys get what I'm saying. So I'll list out the top 15 recommended manga. Number 1, Spy Family by Tatsuya Endo.
Been saying that one a lot.
Yeah, Tatsuya Endo. Number 2, Chainsaw Man by Fujimoto Tatsuki. Number 3, this one I've read. It's like the Beast Doll, stuff like that. Sona Kisukai Ningyo wa Koi o Suru, which is by Fukuda Shinichi. I like this one. Atarashi Joshi wa Douten nen. A new boss is very goofy by Ichikawa Dan. Kusuri no Hitorigoto. This one is a famous one. The Pharmacist Monologue by Hyuga Natsu, Neko Kurage, and Nanao Iki. Aseto Sekken, Sweat and Soap by Yamada Kintetsu. Isekai Oji-san, My Uncle in Another World by Hotondo Shindeiru.
That one's pretty good.
The name, by the way, it's a fake name. It's like an alias. It reads more or less all dead, more or less dying. Number 8 is Kawaii dake janai Shikimori. Miss Shikimori is not just cute, but Keigo. Mieruko-chan, The Girl Who Can See, Tomoki Izumi. The Ride-On King by Baba Yatsushi. Dekiru Neko wa Kyou mo Yutsu. The Masterful Cat is Depressed Again Today by Yamada Hitsuchi. Shumatsu no Valkyrie, or The Record of Ragnarok. I've seen this. Ajichika, Umemura Shinya, and Kue Takumi. Boku no Kokoro no Yabayatsu, The Bad Part of My Heart by Sakurai Norio. Bite Maker, Osama no Omega, King's Omega by Sugiyama Miyaka, excuse me. And Shiawase Kanako no Koroshiya Seikutsu, or Kanako's Life as an Assassin by Wakabayashi Toshiya. And if you want to know the 3 sports series, it's Blue Lock by Kaneshiro Muneyuki, Switch by Namikiri Atsushi, and Mr. CB by Tsunamoto Masaya. So yeah, and these are probably stuff that are a little bit more out of the beaten path, but still have that sort of like mainstream appeal that you guys might not have checked out. So please do check it out if you guys are interested.
I like Isekai Oji-san and Mieruko-chan. Those are good ones. I'll recommend those.
Yeah. Out of these, I know like a couple of these like by title, but the main one I've actually read is number 3, Sona Kisukai Ningyo wa Koi o Suru, or I think it's like Beast Doll also. Like you can search like Beast Doll manga or something like that. Yeah, Sona Beast Doll wa Koi o Suru.
Is it bisque or bisque? Like lobster bisque?
It's probably Bisque. I'm not sure, but yeah. But yeah, so check those out. Pretty interesting ones. And with that, we are done with the news. Pretty quick today. And we are moving on to our shoutouts and callouts. Everybody gets one shoutout here and one callout. Shoutout is something that you want to clap and joy about. Thumbs up. Your eyes sparkle whenever you think about it. And it can be any one person, place, or thing. And callout is the exact opposite. You're raging about it. You have to throw it in, flush it down the toilet, give it the coronavirus, whatever. And it is any one person, place, or thing. We will start now with Dark.
Oh boy. Shit.
Today's
What
the
do I
day
shout
one
out?
I should have actually put Dark last, honestly.
All right, so you're gonna you got the one right there. You got that
Yeah.
one.
Yes.
All right, you got that one. All right, cool.
We're ready to unload.
Sick. All right, so that means I got another one.
Anyways,
I'm gonna go with for my shout out.
yes.
I shout out some fixes to Warframe because they were pretty good. I'm getting back into that game. Fun. But anyway, now to get into the real meat. I'm shouting out whack ass shit that devs are saying.
Calling.
Game devs. I'm calling out whack ass shit, which includes Warframe as well. So I'm calling out Warcraft 3 Reforged, right?
Yes.
Like, how the fuck you gonna come out and make a statement that's like, oh, it was your fault for expecting anything of us? Like, what the fuck are you talking? Like, that
You
is the worst statement you could ever make.
You
It doesn't
wanted
make-
a refined version of the remake? The fuck?
It's like, listen, we get it that, like, they've come to expect stuff of us. And it's like, well, yeah, generally when you
Imagine.
put out a fucking cutscene and then say, like, hey guys, we're redoing the cutscenes for the game, people might think that they would look like the cutscene you redid and put out.
or even if it's just like, oh, we're remaking a game from like how many years was it? It's at least 15, right?
Wait, at least
More
how
than
many?
that.
Yeah, 15 years plus, right? At least 15.
No, even more.
Yeah.
Way more than that. I think like 20 years. Because
20 years plus.
you got to remember, Warcraft 3 came out before World of Warcraft, and World of Warcraft already just had its like fucking 15th anniversary.
Right.
So
yeah,
like
yeah.
Warcraft 3 is like 18 years old.
Yeah, it's like how could you expect us to do anything like with our 18, like of a remake of a game after 18 years? Like what? Come on, like do
Yeah,
something.
like what the fuck are you talking about? Like this was supposed to be a huge deal. But yeah, like that was such a wild ass statement. The main one I'm calling out for Warframe is that they have like a really bad UI like remake that they keep doing, and it never gets any better.
Mhm.
And they had one thing for a while where they didn't have item labels on by default for like all of their items. And Warframe's a sci-fi game. And so they're like, our reasoning is that we have 90% unique icons for our items. And so everyone's like, yeah, but that doesn't matter when your icons aren't fucking real. Like, sick. Like, you have 90% unique icons. They're all fucking space gizmos and doodads, like 1 to 1 million. Like, they mean nothing.
Right.
I mean, shit, the other day I started playing with Bush, and he was trying to describe to me, like, items that he was looking at. And I was like, I have like 2,000 hours in this game. Like, maybe I can guess what you're talking about.
It's like some like keep talking and nobody explodes kind of shit at this point.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
just trying to
very,
describe a symbol. Yeah.
it's just very strange as to why they would even say something like that. And then they're like, yeah, we're putting item labels on by default because we decided at the end of the day, like, more information is more important than the risk of confusion. And it's like, how is that more confusing? Like, 2 resources, for example, in Warframe is Argon and Gallium. 2
Right.
real elements. The icon for Argon is like a semi-transparent, like purple crystal, right? And Gallium is a gray, like cube. But like, that's not what Gallium and Argon look. And it's not like it tells you really in game where you can find every resource and where's the best place to find that resource. So
Couldn't they also have just done like a little like a small square with like the element like abbreviation on it?
yeah, but
Yeah.
the point is that it's like it could really be anything. It's just
Yeah, it could be
material.
anything easier. Yeah.
But it's like, why would you turn item labels off and say that causes confusion? People have to like Google this shit to find out like where the best place to farm it is. So it's like, what the fuck am I supposed to type into Google? What, like, am I supposed to type into Google like, oh, Warframe, where's the best place to find fucking semi-transparent purple crystal? Like, sick. Like, that's very helpful. Thank you so much. I'm not confused at all about that. So that was whack. I was talking to Sin a little bit earlier about this, but I also thought that like the FF14 interview about mods was pretty whack. Just because the stance of
I
Like
mean,
they
his
do need to
stance
get
is
rid of mods
fair.
in that game. They need to get rid of mods. Like, but what I think that they need to do is they need to talk about it when they are like gonna give something to, right? I think what they can do is
I
they
mean,
can be like,
they're not gonna, they're
they're
never
never
gonna
going.
give anything.
But
That's the thing.
I know, but it's like, just do like a fucking uncompressed texture pack, and like maybe do an upres of the player models.
I mean,
Right.
he doesn't care about like texture mods or like he doesn't even give a shit about ACT. What
No,
he
I
was
know
talking
that, but I'm
about,
saying like the AOE mods, like those need to go. But
yeah,
there's
like
no
those are
way to
cheating.
get rid
Like
of them
there's no
without the other
way.
one,
Yeah, there's no way to police against that
unless you
without
get rid of
policing
all of them.
against ACT because it's an ACT plugin, right? But like what he was saying is like, please stop posting this shit like online because I don't want to fucking see it. Like he doesn't want to see fucking Fuda Big Tit Cat Girl mods in his fucking game posted to Twitter. Like he doesn't want to see that shit. So he
But I
was just
think
saying
like,
like mods are against terms of service. Don't fucking do them. I don't want to see it. Like
yeah,
that was
but
his stance, and it's as the director of the game, it's a pretty fair stance.
I don't. But see, it's like then get rid of them. Like just get rid of them then. It's like, don't be like, oh, I don't want to have these posted to Twitter. It's like, all right, well, like fucking do something about it. Like have, like you can get. I feel like it wouldn't take that much of a hit if they decided like, all right, we're gonna get rid of mods, but we're gonna have textures that are more than fucking vanilla Oblivion like compression,
I mean, they're not
and
going
we're
to do
gonna
that
have like fingers that look like fucking fingers.
because if they do that, if they have to act against cosmetic mods, and then in the return is that they have to up the visual fidelity of the game, then he's gonna come out with some bullshit response like, "Oh, the art team is so overworked; they have to redo every single item in the game." Like we've heard
Well,
this shit
yeah, no,
already
I
with
know that, but
VR.
that's what I'm saying. That's why I
Like
think
he's not gonna
the
do it.
whole situation is like it's just whack. It's like, look, I get where you're coming from, but unless you're gonna actually do something about it, like,
Don't talk to
well,
me.
like why? Yeah, like why even bring it
Don't
up?
talk to me.
Also,
Probably because
FF14 should have a fucking official parser and UI mods like World of
they're
Warcraft
not
had.
gonna do that. They're not
I
gonna
know,
do that.
and it's fucking stupid. The idea that it's more toxic to not have a parser is fucking or less toxic to not have a parser. It's so dumb.
I
You
mean,
can call out tanks and healers easily without a parser on fucking up, but at like 4 DPS are completely like unbeholden to criticism.
yeah, well, it's the way the game is.
Yeah, it's fucking
Very
whack.
unfortunate.
Also, yeah, put some HD textures in FF14.
It's never gonna happen.
I know, and it sucks.
Yeah, very, very unfortunate. Anyways, thank you, Dark, for your shoutouts and callouts. Toast, you're up next.
My shout out. I guess I'll do it. Yeah, fine. My shout out is to the quartering, I guess. Yeah.
What?
What?
Oh my god.
Why?
The quartering, that
Why?
YouTube guy, he's the one that yelled at YouTube, hey, about VTubers and got everyone their monetization back. So I got his shout out.
Literally, everybody's been yelling at YouTube.
Yeah, but YouTube's the one
Everybody yells at YouTube about monetization every single day.
Bro, the
Yeah.
quartering's been like fucking yelling at YouTube about demonetization for like years.
YouTube directly responded to him, and he's like, "All right, we'll handle this." And then the very next day, they got their monetization back. So I'm pretty sure it was his, thanks to him. I can't deny that
I
possibility.
mean, YouTube directly responds with canned responses whenever you like add them on Twitter.
Yeah, the thing that
They
I'd be
literally
concerned
all the
about
time
is
say,
that
"Oh,
I've
we'll look into this." Doesn't mean anything.
but they did it
The
one day
quartering is
later,
big.
so yeah.
yeah, but like
yeah,
the
which
quartering
means
is
they've
big,
been
but
looking
I
into
don't.
it for a lot
I
longer
don't believe
than
that they've
they-
been looking into it. Well, who is it? was it Aki or Choco that's been demonetized for a year, and suddenly one day later everyone got their monetization back. I'm pretty sure it's because of the quartering, so I'm gonna shout him out on that.
I don't know if YouTube cares that much about their own content creators to even listen to them. To be honest,
No, they
I
really
feel like
don't.
it was probably a combination of like maybe it was the quartering bringing it up, but it was probably more likely their companies like pressuring.
Yeah, probably.
But it's
If anything, it was like Hololive and Niju Sanji being like, "Hey YouTube,
You're poking them, honestly, whole
how
life.
about you like give our fucking employees their monetization back?"
Yeah, it's probably
And then
that.
YouTube was like,
Oh,
"Oh,
your actual companies. You
yeah,
guys are actual companies.
yeah,
What
you
the
guys are a
hell?
company, not a guy on Twitter." Makes
Anyway,
videos
I'll
for
still shout
SJW.
him out, and to all of our fan translator groups that also pitched in to help. Especially, is it Iger or Liger? Yeah, him. You know
I
who
don't
he
know.
is? He's the guy that does Matsuri clips, and he did a video. He's the one who did a video on, hey, we got to bug YouTube on everyone getting our monetization back, especially Matsuri. Because Iger is one of the more professional ones, I would say. He's got the good stuff, and he does mostly Matsuri clips. So when they took down Matsuri, he's like, all right, now I gotta get into this, and
Well,
then
I
it
mean,
happened. So yeah,
they're all
shout out to him
faggots
too.
until their specific girl gets picked. So
Yeah, because no, who shouted out for Kiryu Koko and Aki Rosenthal? I didn't. But
fucking
when they brought down Matsuri, and I was like, all right, you've gone too far. You've gone too far.
because these fucking Western fans are faggots. But anyways, keep going. What's your call out?
So yeah, shout out to you guys. Everyone's back. And my call out to YouTube again, I guess. Yeah.
Because of the demonetization thing.
No.
What? Because why?
I call YouTube out for a multitude of reasons.
That is true, but I just want to.
How
the
could you monetize Kiryu Koko but not Kanata? What the heck's going on there?
Well,
It's almost like
monetization.
it's all automated.
Yeah, it's all just like fucking random as shit. That's just about the memers. But anyways, yeah, YouTube is stupid.
Kiryu Koko's stuff is whack ass shit, but I can understand
just-
why
it's
she
just
has
memes.
180k subscribers. But Kanata didn't deserve this.
It's just Japanese people have never encountered autism at this level, so they're like, oh man, she like mumbles like fucking like a certain Dota 2 player I know. Just like
Kanata's like the super unlucky one of the fourth generation. No one came to her collab stream. She didn't get She got or she didn't get monetized. She's the only one left.
it's very
Her shirts aren't selling. It's great. It's good stuff. You can't make this stuff up.
again very unfortunate.
Also, point five. Shout out to Watame. Where was it? No, Tsunamaki Junken. I really like that.
Okay.
I'm 3-2. I hope I keep winning. I'm on a two loss streak.
Okay. Anyways, Nier, what are your shoutouts and call out?
Ha 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 ha. Oh man, it's been quite the past couple weeks.
Would you like to clarify?
I'll do my shout out first. Shout outs to Wonder Festival. It's happening right now.
Any good stuff? What's
yeah,
the
there's
good
a lot
stuff?
of good stuff this year. A lot of new Evangelion stuff, a lot of new Fate stuff as usual. A lot of exciting figures, the usual. Stressful to look at them though, because then you're like, oh wait, yeah, I'm gonna need to pay for these. But
This costs money.
yeah, always an exciting time of the year. Callouts. It's gonna be a big one. So what is this like? What? Like 5 days ago, something like that.
About there, yeah.
Platinum Games released. They put up a Kickstarter
Oh yes.
You know, the crowdfunding platform. They put up a Kickstarter to port the Wonderful 101 to other platforms. And the goal, which was $50,000, was pretty much just to be like, yeah, we're bringing this to the Switch, right? We'll bring this to the Switch. And people were like, oh, cool. And then you look at the stretch goals, and the first stretch goal was $250,000 for a Steam version. And you look at that, and you're like, huh? It doesn't cost that much to port something to Steam. And then the next stretch goal was $500,000 for a PS4 version. And then you go, wait a minute, that's a lot of fucking money. And then you look at the release date for the supposed port, and it's in 2 months. And then you go, wait a
What?
minute,
Already?
this game's done. So then you
No, they need the money.
You
They
ask
need the
yourself,
money.
something.
They need the
Wait a
money.
minute. Kickstarter is for funding projects, isn't it? What are they funding?
Honestly,
And
like
then you rack your brain a bit, and then you realize they're not funding anything.
yeah.
They're just using Kickstarter as a safety net. They're just using Kickstarter as a fucking pre-order page for this port.
Right, exactly.
And then you ask
Keep
yourself,
in mind, by the way, once a Kickstarter passes, you can't refund your.
yeah, once a Kickstarter meets its goal, you can't refund.
There's no like safety like refund product system.
Yeah. Um, and it's just like, what the fuck? Like,
Hey, Platinum
why?
Games hasn't done anything
Why
wrong
would
so
you?
far.
Why would you be allowed to do this? Why would you
Because
be
Platinum
allowed?
Games has been good, yo.
Why would you be
It's
allowed
literally
to
should
put a finished product up onto Kickstarter at all? like what is what? Why is there no rule against that? Why is there no like law against that? In my eyes, that should be like illegal.
Right. It's like
Um,
and it's like a lot of the justifications were very
yeah, it's insane.
people were like, oh, it's because Platinum Games is good. It's like so
Yeah,
that
you like if you went on to any sort of like online community discussion, whatever, and you think for a minute and you're like, wait a minute, isn't this like kind of really fucking gross and scummy?
Mhm.
Isn't that
people
immoral?
People would be like, no, platinum good, and it's like, oh, but it's scummy and gross, and it's like actually just
Yeah,
like,
the issue
it's
is
literally
like,
just
if a good
begging
person-
for money
Yeah,
when
it's like
they don't need it.
if a good person commits a crime, he's still a criminal. That's the thing, right? It's like if
Yeah,
a good person
like-
does a bad thing, he's doing a bad
Like
thing.
this is an extremely scummy, really gross practice that they're doing, and everyone is out here defending it because it's platinum game. Right. And my call out really is to all the people that are defending this, because I guarantee you, if some other company goes out and does this, a la EA,
Mhm.
there are going to be articles all over the place about how EA should be fucking arrested and shut down, and they're ripping off gamers, and they're doing all this scummy shit. Oh, EA is such a gross company, and it's all going to be the same fucking people that are like, well, Platinum's had a lot of goodwill over the years, so they're allowed to do like just whatever the fuck they want. They can just receive capital investments from Tencent and then immediately turn around
Yeah.
and put a fucking finished product up onto Kickstarter just to have a safety net for easy cash. They're just like funding future stuff, man. That's like not even advertised on the Kickstarter. That's definitely not a complete violation of Kickstarter's terms of service or anything. Like, it's Platinum Games, man. It's Hideki Kamiya, bro.
They've never
The
done
guy that
anything
hasn't
wrong.
released a fucking game in like 8 years, bro. Come on, bro. They're platinum games, bro.
Their record is
But
very
here-
fucking.
Near,
I hate gamers so much.
Yeah.
They're so fucking stupid.
what if the money is being used to fund Scalebound secretly?
Then they should put a fucking Kickstarter for Scalebound.
Well, what if one of the stretch goals is what is it? Access to the pre-alpha of Scalebound 2.0.
Yeah, you want to know what the other stretch goals for fucking Wonderful 101 were beyond $500,000?
What?
It's $1 million fucking dollars to add a time attack mode to
Yeah.
this finished product, and it's 1.5 million fucking dollars to make a side scroller DLC prequel mission.
Yo, but then you also get to not be blocked by Kamiya or whatever,
Whoa,
right?
bro, dude! If you donate $200 you can get blocked on Twitter by Hideki Kamiya, bro. Isn't that so funny and quirky, bro?
This sounds like what is it, Mighty Number 9 all over again.
No,
Yeah,
this
like,
ain't even
uh,
Mighty
I
Number
mean,
9 in that
no,
sense.
because
like, this
Mighty Number
shit's
9,
just,
like, that game was bad, right? Like, that game ended up being fucking dog shit. But they were funding a game. Like, they put a Kickstarter up. They're like, we're gonna make a game. We need your money to make the game. Platinum is like, hey, we made a game. Do you want it? Give us money. Like, it's
Yeah.
fucking gross. And then if you look at it, like, there's even more evidence that the game's already done. Because if you look at all the tiers, like even the super high tiers, which, usually if you donate or like back a game for a lot of money, they'll put your name in the credits, right?
Right.
They're not doing that because
Wait,
the game's
really?
fucking done.
Yeah.
Oh,
there's
yeah,
nothing.
They
You
put your
can't
name-
put
They
anything
put your
in the
name
game.
in the art book because they haven't printed those yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's so gross. I don't know how people are looking at this and being like, yeah, it's just normal. Like, this is probably one of the grossest things I've seen, like, in the industry since, like, season passes. Like, it's disgusting.
Yeah.
And I don't know how people are, like, okay with it.
Yeah,
And it's going to be really funny when another company turns around and does this, and suddenly people aren't okay with it.
It's also just like, it's just also bad because why would you support a system like I was saying earlier where you literally cannot refund your pre-order? Like, you can't get that money. You cannot get that money back. There like you could probably appeal to get the money back from a Kickstarter, but it ain't gonna be like tomorrow. Platinum could technically just like say they're doing a bunch of weird shit. They could delay it. They could do whatever they want,
And nobody will be able to
and
yeah.
no one can do anything about that with their
Yeah,
money.
exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
because the goal has been met.
Right,
Goal's
exactly.
been met. So as long as they release Wonderful 101 on those platforms, that's it. Or actually, I mean, well, technically, they don't even really do that. They just need to prove that the money went towards doing that.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean,
The
obviously, it's
timeline can
fucking
be like,
done.
yeah,
So
exactly. The
it's gonna
timeline
be
can be
pretty
whatever.
easy to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they like it could be whatever time now. They could do whatever they want.
The thing is, I think just to add on a little bit, I think a lot of this is also kind of due to the Kickstarter and crowdfunding culture that's been created, where it's like a lot of these sites are so focused on creating this image of people can crowdfund for whatever they want. They can be free, they can be creative and stuff like that. So they stopped having a lot of regulations and kind of just became this site where people are just like, just give me money and then I'll give you stuff, I guess. Like almost just like a Patreon, but like, they pretend like they're being productive, right? But they are actually not, right? Like even Patreon is more productive at times than Kickstarter because at least there's like a monthly kind of thing going on, right? Like crowdfunding doesn't have that sort of like monthly kick and boot, right? So I think part of it's just like this culture. Like for instance, recently I was talking with somebody and there was this like somebody showed me this like Kickstarter site, but it was for K-pop or something like that, right? For like crowdfunding site for K-pop or something like that, right? And uh, the thing I noticed immediately was that they were all like it's like funding like them doing like different projects or albums, making different whatever, right?
Like
And all
indie stuff.
not even indie. Sometimes it would be like BTS like selling the merchandise or something like that, and then and then they're also like running some sort of events. It was like very weird. But
Weird.
I don't even know. But it's like, but the one funny thing I noticed was just like a lot of them, like 80% of them were labeled comeback projects, right? And I'm just like, what the fuck? What are they coming back? And it's like, I clicked on one of them. I was like, I guess the comeback project, and they were like, we debuted in September 2019. I'm just like, you guys debuted 4 months ago. What do you mean
We're-
there's
we're
no
coming
comeback?
Yeah, they haven't done anything since. Like, so now they're coming back.
Yeah, I know. And like, what are you guys talking about? You literally just debuted. What do you mean by comeback? What are you guys funding that is a comeback? So it's like, again, this is part of the culture, right? There's so little regulation on these things that it's just becoming like a give me money kind of thing, and we'll look like we're being productive. It's a very frustrating thing that we've come. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think Kickstarter should like take a stance.
Yeah, start
And,
regulating a little.
like, I really don't think it should be. I don't think it should be legal, right?
Yeah.
Because that's like it's just exploiting the system for like guaranteed money, right? Like no matter what happens to this product, you're getting all that money.
It shouldn't like so. It's like the regulation should probably be something. If you start using the site as like a general like, storefront, right, for your mainline merchandise, right, then you should be banned essentially, right? That's the thing. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like it's very unfortunate how this sort of stuff happens.
I don't know. It leaves a really bad taste in my mouth, and like I don't know. To me, it just like I feel like the gaming industry literally goes through like cycles at this point of companies just doing really gross exploitive shit, um, and then the entire like consumer base being like, it's not that bad, or like if you don't like it, don't buy it, or saying absolutely fucking asinine shit like vote with your wallet, bro, and it's like no, like that doesn't work. It's never worked. It's never going to work.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you need to speak up, stand up. Like if you see stuff that's fucking gross and scummy and disgusting, speak up about it. Like
Yeah.
you remember when season passes came out and everyone was like, "Bro, this is fucking gross." And then look where we are now. Season passes are the most common practice for any video game out there. They're like
Fair.
mandatory for fighting games,
Yeah,
right?
it's
And it's fucking
oh,
gross. It's a
And people
horrible
don't
practice.
say. People also don't say a whole lot about the fact that they keep releasing fucking season passes
yeah.
without the characters even like listed in it.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
don't
Like, at
know
the
what
very
you're buying.
least,
When
if
you
they
buy a
had the
season pass, you
5
don't know what you're
characters,
buying.
you'd know.
Yeah.
But it's
But,
pretty
like,
bad that you don't even know what the fuck is in it.
You know how the industry got rid of disgusting shit like online passes and on disc DLC? They spoke up about it.
Yeah.
But it's just saying shit like, well, if you don't like it, don't buy it. It's just gonna go worse.
Yeah. Something has to be done because there are just too many suckers out there in this like ecosystem right now. It's just it's not healthy. But anyways, with that, that's definitely something we need to get out of the way. But thank you for your shout and call out. I guess my shout and call.
Fire, what's your shout out and call out?
My shout out is actually to it hasn't been that cold recently, but I like to give a shout out to Yujacha, which is a Korean like citron tea kind of thing. I think like the romanization spelling is Yujacha, but it's very tasty. It's like marmalade. It's like marmalade, but like you can like kind of turn it into tea. Obviously, like you can like mix it with water and stuff like that, and turn it into tea. And you can also have it like as ice, but it's like really tasty. It's like orange juice, but you're not getting that like just like boom like flash like oh this is fucking just like sugar in your mouth all the time kind of taste. It's like an actual like tea kind of taste. So helped me a lot. hot or cold. So shout out to that. My call out is to bad translators on YouTube. I don't know. It's very. This is like not. This has been like a long time, kind of like always been like a kind of. I don't mean to be. I don't know. I don't know. I always ask myself like, am I being elitist? But it's like, for me, like, it's not a good thing when people see something like machine translations or like just shitty translations, and then they're like, thank you so much for translating. Oh my god, thank you for doing this. Like, in what other field can, like, that people can think of that people act like this, like bottom of the barrel, kind of like just scrap up whatever. It's like if somebody was just like, okay, well, I don't know anything about playing the violin. I also haven't studied with any teacher. I haven't done anything. By the way, I'm going to go to a recital with lots of people and play this violin in front. Would people be like, oh my god, thank you for playing that music? Oh my god. And what is it? If somebody was just like literally like anything, if somebody was like a cook, or not, like if somebody was just like, I don't know anything about cooking, I don't know, like, I don't know how to measure things, whatever, I'm like retarded, right? But I'm going to go and I'm going to make this dish and serve it out in front of Times Square or whatever, right? You wouldn't be like, wow, thank you so much for serving this food. That's so good. It's like people be like, this is garbage. Fuck you, kind of thing, right? I mean, it can be praised. I mean, it's, first of all, it's not. Most of the time, it's bad. But just because it can be praised, like just because it's within the human ability to praise it, right? Doesn't mean it should be praised, right? And that's what I'm saying. It shouldn't be praised. It shouldn't be supported, right? It's just not good work, and it just leads to bad shit happening consistently. And a lot of these people, it's just like so like mind-boggling to me. Like, again, nobody will be like, oh, I'm bad at like cooking, like I'm retarded, I'm just gonna make this dish, right? But there are people who are like, I mean, there are some people who do that, and we laugh at them, right? But there are people that are literally like on YouTube channels, like making English translations, that are like, I'm bad at Japanese, and it's like, wait, why are you translating from Japanese to English? And then
I
they're
mean,
like,
there are also channels that are like, I'm bad at Japanese and I don't
and English, exactly. I'm like, what does that even mean?
like, why are you translating anything?
Yeah, exactly. Again, I'm not even insulting people who are bad at a language, period, right? Like, I've never, like, none of you guys have heard, or like, I have never in my life been like, oh, somebody's bad, so like fucking like terrible, like so whatever, like trying to do something, like they should just go back to whatever, unless they're like trying to prove like some weird, like stupid ass point, or trying to do some like weird debate kind of shit, right? Like, if they're just like trying to learn the language or whatever, that's perfectly fine with me. But what's not fine is they're like, oh, I'm going to be the translator. I'm like, you don't have the qualifications to be a translator. I am fluent in I am I am a native Korean speaker, and I still get antsy when I have to translate English.
Hey,
It's
Spire,
because
Spire.
yeah.
Translate the Duchess with an Empty Soul for me. There's a lot of interesting drama going in the background.
I don't want
I need someone with pure intentions.
pure intentions.
There's a lot happening in the background.
But yeah, it's just, again, it's just very frustrating when people do that, and like people just like lap it up. And so many of these people are obviously like, if you like really like legit, if you actually cared about the translation, right? If you legit were like, I want to provide translations of these things, like translations so that people will enjoy, you wouldn't just run up the nearest fucking Google Translate and be like, oh, what's the nearest Yoroshiku is like best regards, I'll just copy paste that into. That's not what you would do. You would be like, okay, well, let me learn enough English and Japanese properly, and then be able to translate, and then translate it well. right? But just so many of these, obviously, like if you're trying to translate it in that sort of garbage format, you clearly don't have good intentions. You're just using it to get quick views, right? And it's just very frustrating to me.
But Spire, how do you feel about those channels that monetize?
Well, that's another sin entirely. Then it's like obviously 100% clear that they're just trying to be complete assholes. So I have no words to say to them, but it's just, again, if you don't have the qualifications for something, don't make something related to that field and try to give it to other people. That's not, you know what I mean? If you're not a chef, don't make bad food and then be like, here's my fucking pile of shit. Like, it's not, no, stop doing that. So yeah, that's my call out. Anyways, with that being said, we are done with our shoutouts and callouts. We will be, I think most of us are at episode 5, right?
5, 6, yeah.
5 or 6, yeah. So we should have 2 more episodes, maybe 3, depending on how things go, right? We'll have to see a little bit. But yeah, we should have 2 or 3. We'll be able to cover, obviously, some of the titles that we're all thinking of, right? You know what those are. And in those next 2 podcasts, so watch out for that. And yeah, if you do like what we do, we stream our podcast recording every other Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at twitch.tv/4PlayerAnimecast. That's with the number 4. So follow us here, where we talk about the latest and greatest in Japanese animation media, anime, manga, light novels, web novels, visual novels, and so much more. You can also follow us on our updates on when we're streaming, you know, what we're doing, so on and so forth, on our social media, Facebook, 4PlayerAnimecast, and Twitter at 4PBAnimecast, all with the numeral 4. Check us up on our Twitch VOD for podcast recording, as well as on our YouTube, so you can watch either version, whichever you prefer. And with that, we'll see you next time.
Or will we?